that mindset, and that's how I approach it. So it was just, I think the guys honestly played amazing, so it was good.
Spencer Knight, cool as a cucumber, both on the ice and off of the ice. And you can even hear how he talked about the LA game where he gave up 6 goals in that 6-0 loss, and he felt like he really liked his game. And so I admire how focused Knight is in his process and the technique over the results, because I think over the course of an 82-game season, that's going to get you to being one of the top goaltenders in the league when you're not hung up on what the result is versus the process stats. And so even Spencer, I think he did the TNT post-game interview, and he just looked smiley, and he was crediting his teammates. And even in that interview he did after the Blackhawks inside the locker room, he was asked about how satisfying it was to have a shutout, and he's like, I don't care about the shutout, I care about 2 points for his team. And so I thought that was kind of indicative of his mindset and just wanting to win no matter the cost. And how about this now? So Spencer Knight, I was digging into some of the numbers earlier today. He improved to 7-2-2 in 11 starts following a loss for himself. And he has 300 saves on 321 shots in those 11 starts for a save percentage of .935. So he is really good, the numbers show, at bouncing back after a loss. 7-2-2 record, .935 save percentage. And so, that was on full display in that win against the New York Rangers on Wednesday night. Hawks are going to be facing a very vulnerable St. Louis Blues team coming into tonight's game. The St. Louis Blues they're dead last in goal differential in the NHL at -35. The next worst team is Vancouver at -24. And St. Louis, this is going to be the second game of a back-to-back for them. They got really roughed up against Nashville last night, allowing 4 goals to Steven Stamkos alone in a 7-2 loss. That's a game that Jordan Binnington started. He got pulled for the 3rd time this season. And the comments in the St. Louis locker room after the game were not pretty. They were really calling themselves out about how they haven't been hard to play against, not hard enough in front of the net. And so we'll see what happens in this game tonight. We know what happened the last time the Blackhawks were in St. Louis. It was an 8-3 victory earlier in October, and that was also a TNT game where Connor Bedard and Frank Nazar had the TNT post-game spotlight. And so we'll see if the Hawks can pick up where they left off the last time they were in that building. Sounds like the Hawks are going to go with the same lineup as expected on Wednesday night against the New York Rangers. In net, time now for tonight's goalie matchup, sponsored by Trajan Wealth, helping protect what you've built and prepare for what's ahead. Spencer Knight is going to get the net again for Chicago. 10-6-5 record, 2.50 goals against average, .916 save percentage, and 2 shutouts this season. And the St. Louis Blues will be going with Joel Hofer. He's got a 4-6-2 record, .318 save percentage, 3.18 goals against average, .890 save percentage, and 2 shutouts. But the last time the Blackhawks were in St. Louis, Hofer was in the net and gave up 7 goals on 22 shots for a .682 save percentage, and a few of those were softies, the ones that he would like to have back. And so it's going to be a potential revenge game for Joel Hofer, who is getting the net again, second of a back-to-back for St. Louis, the first of a back-to-back for the Blackhawks, who are going to be facing Detroit tomorrow. Time for a break here on the FanDuel Sportsbook Chicago Blackhawks pregame show. When we come back, we hear from Blackhawks head coach Jeff Blashill, who sat down with John Wiedemann earlier today.
Staying away from, like I said, those prolonged streaks is important. On the reverse side, trying to get on a little bit of a run's important. So it was a good game, as I said. I thought we played a pretty good hockey. I'm always happy when we win, but I'm extra happy when we play the kind of winning hockey that it's going to take for us to have long-term success here.
Blackhawks hockey is sponsored by Plumbers 911 Chicago, where they do it right the first time. United Airlines, your Chicago and Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealers, and Citgo. Score savings on every fill-up with Club Citgo. Download the app now to start saving. More coming up on the FanDuel Sportsbook Chicago Blackhawks pregame show on 720 WGN.
What do the Blackhawks and United Airlines have in common? The next generation has arrived, and the future looks bright. New planes are joining the United Airlines fleet every week, decked out with Bluetooth connectivity, screens and power at every seat, and bigger overhead bins to fit everyone's carry-on. Book your next trip on the United app or United.com today. United Airlines, proud to be the official airline of the Chicago Blackhawks.
To 15-year-old Harper, buying an $80 vintage rock t-shirt is a great investment. To Harper's mom, this logic has a few holes in it. So she helped Harper open a Wells Fargo Clear Access banking account. With no overdraft fees and tools to track spending, Harper's learning, one heavy metal tee at a time. However you make money work, Wells Fargo can work with that.
Terms apply. Visit wellsfargo.com/deposit disclosures for fees and details.
There is nothing like experiencing the holiday season in Lake Geneva. Check out the world's tallest glass tree, built in real time right before your very eyes at the famed Yerkes Observatory. Embark on a magical Christmas boat cruise on Geneva Lake, where you'll be enchanted by lighted displays and finding Santa's secret hideaway. Feeling adventurous? Give winter ziplining a try, or fat tire biking over snow-covered trails, ice skate, snowshoe, cross-country, or downhill ski, or you can just relax with a libation in one of the many igloos throughout the area. Don't worry, you can finish up that holiday shopping in Lake Geneva's quaint downtown, filled with unique boutique shops and good old-fashioned friendly customer service. And don't forget to spoil yourself with a fabulous spa treatment or dinner out with friends. To learn more, go to visitlakegeneva.com and let the holiday fun begin. That's visitlakegeneva.com. Lake Geneva, it's always been the place.
Slay the gifting game with a Let Us Entertain You gift card. If there's one thing everyone loves, it's a great meal. Lettuce gift cards can be used at 90 restaurants nationwide, including favorites like Abba, RPM Italian, Mon Ami Gabi, Wildfire, and Shaw's Crab House. And the best part? When you buy $100 in lettuce gift cards, you get a free $25 holiday bonus on us. Start spreading holiday cheer at lettuce.com. That's LETTUCE.com.
Tune into House Smarts Radio every Saturday morning after 9:45 for Lou's Last Call. Sponsored by Mitsubishi Electric Heating and Air Conditioning. For more info, visit getacomfyhome.com.
We're back to St. Louis, and as the Blackhawks FanDuel Sportsbook Chicago Blackhawks pregame show continues, we go behind the bench with Blackhawks head coach Jeff Blashill, who got a nice birthday present the other night. A 3-0 shutout victory over the New York Rangers, Jeff, and a superior effort was needed coming off of those two bad losses in California, and you got it against the best road team in the National Hockey League. How gratifying was that win for you?
Well, it was a good win. Obviously, the game in Anaheim was really poor. It was one of our worst showings. The game in LA was different. The score ended up real lopsided, but I thought we actually started that game really good. But when we came back, we talked about some things we need to do to be better, especially in those nights when we don't have our legs. And part of that was fundamentally be a better team defensively. And I thought through the night, although I thought we had our legs, we were better defensively. And so, it's a big thing that we've talked about all year is making sure we check for our offense. But just also the fundamentals within that, making sure that we're on the D side of people. We angle properly. We play through bodies. We have great stick on puck. All the little things that matter a ton. So I thought we did a pretty good job of that overall. It was a good, complete game.
Staying on it for just a second, Jeff, because you came off of a trend where the team had given up 13 goals in 2 games, and very easily that could spiral out of control for a young hockey team. It's early in the season. It's obviously an 82-game season with plenty of time to recover, but in the grand scheme of things, how big was that win?
Hard to say. I mean, I think it's always big to not go on prolonged streaks. I was less worried about the amount of goals. There was a number of factors that went into it. To me, it's 2 losses, and you don't want to, have a third loss. And I think staying away from, like I said, those prolonged streaks is important. On the reverse side, trying to get on a little bit of a run's important. So it was a good game, as I said. I thought we played a pretty good hockey. I'm always happy when we win, but I'm extra happy when we play the kind of winning hockey that it's going to take for us to have long-term success here.
What stood out about the performance of your defense? Because you went to a lineup configuration of 12 and 6. It seemed like they were more actively involved.
No, I wouldn't. I don't think the 12 and 6 or 11 and 7 7 honestly make a difference for how, I think ultimately the individual players on the ice, whether you're dressed in 6 or 7, have to play good. And I thought each one of them played a very good game. And, I think when our defense plays good, and it's kind of the roller coaster of having a young number of young guys back there is, learning kind of that consistency that you have to play with every night. And I thought our guys did a good job of it last night. Now tonight's a new challenge. So I thought, again, when the D-Corps plays good, I think we're a real good team. And I also thought our forwards did a good job of helping them out. And we stayed away from a lot of prolonged D zones, which I think is real important.
Louis Crevier scored his first shorthanded goal of his career in that game. How did that lift the bench? What was the vibe like?
No, it was fun. It's fun to score shorties, but really fun when a guy like Louis scores. Louis kind of made his mark as a defender, but obviously he's created a number of opportunities offensively through his shot. Didn't seem necessarily a shorthanded goal coming or that move that he made. So certainly have to reconsider our shootout configuration after that one.
All right. Your opponent tonight is the St. Louis Blues. And the last time we were in this building, the Blackhawks beat the Blues soundly, 8-3. And that was one of 5 goal losses, five goal losses the Blues have absorbed this season, including last night where they lost 7-2 against the Nashville Predators. I would think that the Blues will be playing with a sense of desperation. What are your thoughts about this game?
Yeah, we'll get their best for sure. There's zero doubt that when you have a tough night or you go through a little bit of a tough time, the urgency level will certainly be high from the drop of the puck, and so we have to make sure that we match that urgency level and try to create frustration by playing the stifling type of hockey that we're capable of playing. And if we can do that, I think we become a real difficult team to play against. And coming off a tough outing that they had last night, we got to make it difficult for them.
Do you feel you'll have any kind of an edge in 5-on-5 play?
Well, it's hard to say. They're a good team. Like, they were a playoff team last year. They're not having the year they want, but that doesn't mean that they aren't a good team. And so, 5-on-5, we hope we have the edge, but you got to go out there and get it done.
All right. We're looking for a win here in St. Louis. That would be back-to-back wins this season for you, Jeff. And best of luck to you and the boys here, and thanks for this.
Yeah, thanks, John.
That's Blackhawks head coach Jeff Blashill. Stay with us. More upcoming in the pregame show right after you hear these messages. This is Blackhawks Hockey on 720 WGN.
Marquette Bank has been helping small business owners for 80 years. 80 years is a long time. When you bank with Marquette Bank, you have a partner for your business. Whether you need a small business loan, help with cash management, or help with your personal banking, Marquette Bank is here to support your business. When you bank with Marquette Bank, good things happen for you and your neighborhood. Marquette Bank. Love where you bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 462926.
Comparing health insurance plans is never easy. That's why I work for Get Covered Illinois.
We are the state's official health insurance marketplace.
We have a website to compare multiple plans and prices in one place, and people who can help you for free. Community-based navigators and brokers, certified by the state.
And we have live customer service.
At getcoveredillinois.gov, we're here to help.
The scrape of blades, the clash of sticks. Hockey's more than a game. It's unrelenting, never-give-up moments that make you feel alive. And so you commit to the weekly ups and downs, the long road to the playoffs. You wear your heart on your sleeve and your jersey with pride. And when you're there for your team, the NHL shop is there for you. Check out the largest selection of official NHL gear at NHLshop.com. Fanatics experience.
Hi, I'm Brooke from Restoration Ministries. During the last few months of the year, many people celebrate holidays focused on giving. And while Restoration Ministries would be very grateful for your financial support, we have another way for you to give as well, one that also results in a tax deduction. Restoration Ministries will come to your home and collect gently used furniture, household items, and clothing to sell at our thrift store. You are not just giving your old items, you are giving people hope and a second chance. 100% of our proceeds from these sales support vital services for communities in need. Restoration Ministries helped me in a time of need as well. I was struggling with alcohol and chose to take advantage of their free residential recovery program. Call Kathy to schedule pickup at 708-638-7869 or go to rmipickup@gmail.com. That's 708-638-7869. You can also visit restorationministries.net to see how your donations are being used. Thanks to all the WGN radio listeners for your years of support.
The Village of Addison invites you to celebrate the season on the Village Green, Friday and Saturday, December 12th and 13th from 6 to 10 p.m. Meet Santa, take train rides through twinkling lights, and enjoy live holiday entertainment in a cozy heated tent. Plenty of food and drinks are available, plus tour the Century House, decorated for an old-fashioned Christmas, and visit the Historical Museum Open House from 6 to 8 p.m. A magical holiday weekend for the whole family, brought to you by the Village of Addison, where the holidays shine brightest.
Back here on the FanDuel Sportsbook, Chicago Blackhawks pregame show on 720. WGN Hawks Blues coming up at the top of the hour. But first, at every home game this season at the United Center, we will be saluting a veteran, which is sponsored by JeffBuysYourHouse.com, a proud veteran-owned business serving Chicagoland since 2007. Go check out Jeff's team and tell them I sent you. Time now to look at tonight's jersey, sponsored by Suits 2020. Stop by their men's clothing superstore to check out the selection of suits, tuxes, shirts, ties, shoes, and more. Visit Suits2020.com. The Blackhawks are back in their road white uniforms with the Centennial logo right above the crest on the right side of the jerseys. And the St. Louis Blues are in their home blue jerseys. I don't even know what kind of blue I would characterize that with the Blue Note logo on the crest. Time now to head to Enterprise Center and bring in Steve Conrad to help us break down this game. Steve, the last time the Hawks were on the road, things didn't end particularly well, but the Hawks are coming off a big bounce back 3-0 on Wednesday night. I imagine the team is trying to carry that over momentum and get the bad taste out of their mouth the last time they were away from home.
Yeah, that was a great turnaround by the Blackhawks. You mentioned, those two last games of the Western road trip, they give up 13 goals and they only score one themselves. So it was really important that they come back with a strong game. And I thought it was their strongest game of the year, especially defensively. There was just absolutely no room, no grade A. Well, they had a couple chances, the Rangers, but, no sustained pressure. And that's what you want to see. So that was a complete turnabout by the Blackhawks. And I give them a lot of credit because they're a young team. And sometimes your confidence can be shaken. And I guess the coaching staff deserves some credit, too. They put them through a couple days of tough practices, and they responded in a good way. I look at this game, and I'm a little worried about it because the St. Louis Blues were embarrassed last night, albeit in Nashville, but they got spanked 7-2, and they're going to be coming back with a real strong performance because not only did they get embarrassed in that game, they were embarrassed the last time the Blackhawks were here, the 8-3 score that the Chicago team hung on them. So, one thing that hockey players do, they've got long memories, and they remember things that happen in games. They remember things that happened, even though it was probably over a month ago now. So the Blackhawks better be ready because although St. Louis right now does not have a very good record, they're still 4 points out of a playoff spot. It's unbelievable. They are 4 points out of a playoff spot. They have not played their best hockey. The goaltending hasn't been really good, and yet they're still really close. So, this is certainly one you can't look and see, well, the St. Louis Blues have been faltering lately. They're a team that's capable of turning it around in a hurry.
You mentioned how hockey players have long memories, and I remember even when the Blackhawks were there in October in that 8-3 victory for Chicago, Connor Bedard and Frank Nazar did a post-game interview with TNT, and Frank had brought up, he wasn't even asked about this, he brought it up, he's like, yeah, we were embarrassed by the Winter Classic game at Wrigley Field with these guys, and so we wanted to kind of, not stick it to them, but that left a sour feeling, sour taste in their mouths, and so they remembered that Winter Classic feeling. They wanted to kind of stick it back to them, and so I agree. I think St. Louis knows what happened the last time these two teams met, but also they have a bad feeling about what happened last night against Nashville.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because that was a part of the motivation for the Blackhawks, obviously, back when they played here in St. Louis. And, I can remember back in the day, and so these teams are in the Central Division now, but back in the day it was called the Norris Division, and we used to call it, kiddingly, the Chuck Norris Division because it was always so physical. And I know the fans loved it because the Minnesota North Stars were in that division. The Detroit Red Wings were in that division. The Toronto Maple Leafs were in that division. So whenever they came to town or we went into their barn, they were very physical games. And I've been surprised so far by maybe the lack of physicality from St. Louis. And they're not really built that way. I mean, they've got a lot of skill, but they're still guys. Braden Shen, their captain, is one of the toughest guys pound for pound in the NHL. Colton Parayko on the back end, if he had an ounce of meanness in his body, he would be a dominating defenseman in today's NHL. So I'm sure Jim Montgomery was a fantastic college player, and he played a little bit in the pros. He was a skilled guy, but he also realizes the importance of intimidation, the importance of being physical to nullify skill. So wouldn't surprise me one bit if this thing got physical. I'm not saying there's going to be fights, but I imagine that the St. Louis Blues are going to be trying to slow down the Chicago Blackhawks.
How about the play of Spencer Knight, not just lately, but all season long, and even bouncing back from that start that he had in LA where he gave up 6 goals. He was talking about how after Wednesday's game that he felt like he liked his game in LA, and I admire that he's really focused on the process and not the results, and I think that's a big reason why he's been one of the best goaltenders in the NHL this season, is because he's not dwelling on the results. He's focused on his process.
Yeah, and you hit on the key word there, so focused. And the thing is, not only is he laser focused, but he doesn't get too high or he doesn't get too low. I think he reads the situation, he processes it, and then it's like, okay, I'm going to learn from that. I'm going to forget about it now, and it's on to the next thing. Perfect example this morning. I just love watching him warm up in the morning. And I know you've watched him warm up too, but literally I was, me and John and a couple of other guys, the only people in the arena. St. Louis didn't skate this morning. And he comes out there and he works on his edge work. And it's almost like he's in a zone, very slowly, very methodically, skates around in his own zone, just going from one edge to the other. And, I think he's a creature of habit, and that's obviously a routine that he has. But he just gets so focused. Whatever the routine is, whatever the job is ahead of him, he is ultra focused. And, I think that's important for, not only any player, but especially goaltenders, because so much can happen. And sometimes goals aren't your fault. And you have to realize that and just forget about it and worry about stopping the next shot. And I think that's what he's been so strong at this year.
And he's also, when he goes out there for morning skate, he's out there like 10 minutes before everyone else comes out there. So he has this routine that he really sticks to. And it's really cool to watch him be so focused on his routine, but that's what gets him into the game, into game ready shape. And so, and I think he said he learned a lot from Sergei Bobrovsky and the way that he prepares. And so I imagine he took a lot of pointers from him when he was in Florida.
Yeah, and it's no secret. He suffered from OCD at times growing up, and even in his early adulthood, and he's dealt with it, and he's learned to overcome it. But that can make you hyper focused too, which is a good thing, for goaltenders. And you talk about the fact that he's normally out there 10 minutes before. He was the first guy on the ice, and it was a good 5-6 minutes before. Arvid Soderblom was actually the next guy out, but he was also the last guy in the bus too. So he spends a lot of time at the arena. In fact, I think it was just the 2 goaltenders who rode with John and I back to the hotel after the morning skate. So he takes morning skates very seriously. They obviously didn't play yesterday, so he wanted to make sure he got in his work, whatever else he does. And I've seen him in the back wall throwing balls up against the wall, catching them. He's got a host of little drills he does each and every day so that he feels that he's at his best.
Love it. Steve, great stuff as always. Have a great call.
All right, thanks, Charlie.
All right, that's going to do it for the FanDuel Sportsbook Chicago Blackhawks pregame show. John Weideman and Steve Conroy have the call coming up next. You're listening to Blackhawks Hockey on 720 WGN.
It's Andy Mazer. We're your home for the Blackhawks, Northwestern football and basketball, the NFL, and Hampton OB. This is AM 720 WGN Chicago.
The NHL is officially back, and right now, new FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. Put your first bet in the back of the net on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook and official partner of the Chicago Blackhawks.
Must be 21 or older and present in Illinois. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Whether it's a plumbing emergency or just a simple repair like a clogged toilet, Plumbers 911 is your source for the best licensed plumbers. Every plumber has background checks, insurance, and 10,000 hours of training. When you call 1-833-PLUM-911, you'll be connected with one of Chicagoland's most trusted contractors, like Berwyn Western Plumbing in Westmont. Wherever you are, a Plumbers 911 contractor is always close by. Call 1-833-PLUM-911. Plumbers 911, where they do it right the first time.
Hey, Jeremy Roenick here. You know, I played in an era that was tough, gritty, old school. But I got major respect for the next generation of hockey. The speed, the skill, the precision. That's what I see in Flight by Yuengling. It's brewed by the oldest brewery in America, but built for today. 2.6 carbs, 95 calories, clean, crisp, real beer flavor without the heaviness. This is the light beer that keeps up with the modern game. Flight by Yuengling, the next generation of light beer. G.G. Yuengling & Son, Pottsville, PA.
Imagine not being able to pay rent, put Christmas dinner on the table, or a gift under the tree. For many Chicagoans, that struggle is reality. Thankfully, the Salvation Army is here to ensure that no one is left behind this holiday season. Our friends at the Salvation Army are seeing unprecedented demand in communities they've served for decades, with more people walking through the doors in search of emergency support. This increased need calls for all of us to help. Won't you join WGN Radio and the Salvation Army with helping your neighbors have a happy holiday? Whether it's a hot meal, a warm bed, or a few gifts under the tree, the Salvation Army is working hard to do the most good. Please join us to provide hope for someone who is struggling. Go to the John Williams Kettle at WGNradio.com and help fill it up. Trust me, a little goes a long way. Help us make a difference today.
Hey, it's John Hanson. You hear me before the hockey game on Your Money Matters. You see me inside the arena, too. Patrick Dolan from Conti & Dolan Law is a highly experienced employment lawyer ready to help you. Recently hired? You'll want Patrick to look over your contract. Leaving your job for any reason? Talk to Patrick Dolan about severance pay. Moving jobs but getting stuck behind a non-compete? Talk to Patrick Dolan. Discriminated against at work? Patrick Dolan is the experienced employment lawyer to talk to. 312-332-7800 for Patrick Dolan from Conti & Dolan.
From dull floors to the latest innovations, Lou Manfredini's guest interviews on House Smarts Radio inspire Chicago homeowners. Tune in Saturday, sponsored by Simple Flooring. Floors that inspire every step.
100 years.
This is just fantastic.
One city. One team.
Go Blackhawks.
The kids.
Nazar in a breakaway down the slot. Shoots, he scores. Connor Bedard with a shot, he scores. Renzel fires, he scores.
They can play.
Yes, they can.
An original Six tradition that rattles the rafters with Chicago pride.
Where you from? Chicago.
Chicago? Chicago? From the anthem to the final horn. It's time for Chicago Blackhawks hockey. With the call of the game, here's John Whiteman and Steve Conroy.
The Chicago Blackhawks hit the ice in St. Louis tonight, looking to extend their winning ways at the expense of their division rivals, the Blues, a team who was unexpectedly searching for a consistent winning way. Meanwhile, the Hawks are coming off one of their best wins of the season, and they expect to keep it going. Now, the unpredictable nature of this rivalry usually leads to spirited battles. And folks, tonight's contest should be absolutely no exception. Hi again, everyone. John Whiteman along with Steve Conroy. We are here at the Enterprise Center in St. Louis, Missouri, and Charlie Romeliotis is standing by in Blackhawks Central. We want to welcome you into our broadcast this evening. Blackhawks and Blues, same as it ever was. And Steve, I know you played in a lot of these games, and you know the intensity of the rivalry. When the Blackhawks and the Blues meet, irrespective of the ice surface, it always seems like there's just a little extra on the line.
Yeah, because you get a lot of people traveling down from Chicago to St. Louis, and the other way around, when the games are in Chicago, you get a lot of St. Louis fans coming up to see the great city of Chicago. So not only is there a rivalry in the stands, there's a great battle on the ice, and it goes way back. And I think these players realize that there's just a different feel in the building when these two teams get together. And obviously the St. Louis Blues have some business to take care of because they were embarrassed mightily the last time they were here.
Certainly were. And so we'll see what kind of a Blues team takes the ice here tonight. You were talking about Spencer Knight in goal for the Blackhawks. You and Charlie were talking about him. You wonder what he's going to do for an encore. And then I want to touch on a subject, Steve, that you and I talked about, not on the airways, but here in the booth, the fact that the Blackhawks defense, six only against the Rangers instead of the 7 that we had kind of become accustomed to. I felt that the Blackhawks defense was very active in that game against the Rangers. I think you agreed with me. You're a former defenseman from the National Hockey League. You know what that's all about.
Well, I can tell you as a guy who played sometimes with 7 guys, but mostly with 6 guys, you get into the game so much better. You get into the rhythm. You just feel more a part of it. You're more connected to the game. And I think that's exactly what happened against the New York Rangers. I looked at a guy like Connor Murphy, who led the team in time on ice. That was literally 50% more than he played the game before. He played 13 minutes in Anaheim. He was over 20 minutes against New York. So Matt Grzelcyk, same thing. So I think maybe even for the older guys, it's better to get out there every third shift, knowing that you're going to be on the ice, whatever the situation.
Well, Louis Crevier scored his first shorthanded goal against the Rangers. That turned out to be the game-winning goal because the game ended in a 3-0 shutout for the Hawks. But the other 2 guys that scored were Connor Bedard and Tyler Bertuzzi. And I want to stay on Bertuzzi because I'm about to select him as the guy who's going to deliver. But Tyler Bertuzzi is having a career season, Steve, and he's second in the NHL, tied with 2 other guys in power play goals with 8. He's around the net a lot. He's enjoying his role. He seems to be making the most of it.
I don't think it's any coincidence, John, that he had some of his best years under Jeff Blashill in Detroit. And that was quite a while ago, really. And we talked to Jeff Blashill this morning about his relationship with Bertuzzi, and he said, I just let him play. He said, we've always been on the same wavelength, even from when he was a young man. And he said, I don't try to correct him too much. He goes to the beat of his own drum. I let him go out there and just play his game. And he is so good, not only in front of the net, but along the boards, too.
Well, as you can hear the horn going off in the background, if this building sounds loud, it is. It's a loud building. And whenever the Blackhawks and Blues get together, there's always that little bit of extra intensity, and the fans feel it, too. So we'll see how this all turns out. Should be a great spectacle of sport here tonight. Who's going to deliver? Sponsored by Mitsubishi Electric Heating and Air Conditioning. Electric heat pumps for a better environment inside and out. Visit getacomfyhome.com. I've already played my hand. Tyler Bertuzzi is my guy. He's almost a point. He's 1 point below a point per game pace, and that would be a career best season for Tyler Bertuzzi. Keys for tonight's game are sponsored by your Chicago and Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealers. Take it away, Steve.
Well, first off, keep them feeling blue. And the St. Louis Blues, since the Blackhawks beat them back in mid-October, 9 wins, 20 losses, 9-13-7. So you want to keep them down. Don't let them score that first goal. They're a lot better when they go score the game's first goal. Secondly, penalty killers continue to be killers. They were 3 for 3 against the New York Rangers, but more importantly, they allowed just one shot in 6 minutes of power play time for the Rangers. So doing a great job clearing the puck down the ice, winning faceoffs. Those are all important. And then finally, defense leads to offense. And one of the best games of the year was against the New York Rangers. It wasn't because of the offense. They played unbelievably great defense, shutting down a pretty potent New York Ranger team.
All right, Steve, who are you banking on? Sponsored by Marquette Bank. Love where you bank, celebrating 80 years of neighborhood banking.
I'm going off the board. Connor Murphy. No, You know what? Matt Grzelcyk. Matt Grzelcyk hasn't scored yet. I think Matt Grzelcyk's going to score his first goal as a Blackhawk.
All right, I like it. Well, the stage has been set. The Blackhawks and the Blues set to do battle, but before they drop the puck, let's send it down to ice level and pick up our anthem singer right now.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Oh, nicely done with the anthem. Here are the starting lineups in tonight's game. For the St. Louis Blues, it's Joel Hofer in goal. This is the second time this season he's faced the Blackhawks. We talked about his first time. He was not very good. He gave up 7 goals on 22 shots. He's looking to atone for that night. At defense for the Blues are going to be Justin Falk and Tyler Tucker. Up front from left to right, Dylan Holloway starts at left wing. Centering the Blues opening line is their captain, Braden Shen. And starting at the right wing is Matthew Joseph. For the Blackhawks, Spencer Knight gets the start and goal. In his career, he's 1-1-2 against the St. Louis Blues. At defense are going to be Connor Murphy and Wyatt Kaiser. Up front from left to right, Oliver Moore starts at left wing. Centering the Hawks opening line, Frank Nazar. And starting at the right wing is Tyler Bertuzzi. Referees this evening are Justin Kia and Pierre Lambert. Handling the lines, Bevan Mills and Julian Fournier. Second of 4 meetings is underway here in St. Louis. And the draw won by the Blues. Falk with a pass up the right wing to center ice for Joseph. He lost the puck in the skates of Wyatt Kaiser at the Hawk blue line, who flings it down to the Blues blue line. Falk sticks it back ahead at center ice on the right wing. Joseph's got the puck in front of the penalty boxes. Leaves it for Justin Falk. He'll backhand it into the right wing corner Hawk zone. This will tumble behind the net. Connor Murphy there takes a hit from Shen. Leaves the puck for Kaiser. Flips it through to Nazar. Passing up the right side intended for Bertuzzi, but Tucker stepping up for the Blues and breaking up that play. And now Tyler Tucker holding the puck back in the Blue zone as the teams make line changes. Jake Neighbors for the Blues at center ice on the left wing. Takes the puck. Lifts it off the inboards Hawk zone. Big Louis Crevier put a shoulder into Robert Thomas. Took the puck away. Spins it around up the left wing side. And Kaiser guides the puck now to the St. Louis blue line where the Blues get it back. Colton Parayko between the circles, blue zone. Banks a pass up the right side for Jake Neighbors. It's off his stick and down behind the net. And Knight out to play the puck around to the near side. Ryan Green is able to move it out to the line, but held in by Parayko. And a long shot from there deflects up off the glass, off the stick of Knight. Kaiser back behind the net. Can't get off on a change. Sweeps it around to the near side. Parayko pinching from the right point to the half boards. Kept it alive there, but now Connor Bernard will take it away. And then he lost it onto the stick of Parayko near the right point. Put the puck down the boards for Kaiser, who is hit by Buchnevich of the Blues, but the Hawks are able to clear their end. And now the puck taken by Ryan Green. He'll deflect it down in behind the Blues net, and again, the Hawks will make a quick change here.
Yeah, you see St. Louis early in this game, John, just getting in on the forecheck, trying to be physical. Neighbors with a big head, and as you mentioned, Buchnevich finishing off Kaiser at the end of that shift.
Here's Teuvo Teravainen along the right wing boards, Hawk blue line, goes rink wide with a pass. Ilya Mikheyev over the Blues line. Alex Vlasic to Teravainen. He fires from the slot just wide of the post. Loose puck picked off by the Blues and cleared down ice into the Hawks zone by Hugh McGing, but taken back by the Hawks. Alex Vlasic to center ice, crossing the Blues line down the left wing side. Carries behind the net, fed it out in front. It was intended for Teravainen, but picked off by Robbie Fabry. Now back with the Blues, wearing a different uniform number. He'll move it ahead at center ice. Here come the Blues on the attack. Into the Hawk zone. Cam Fowler dropping it into the right wing corner. Oscar Sundqvist spun it behind the net out to the left point, held in by Justin Falk, but then taken back by the Hawks. Sam Lafferty through center, over the Blues line right wing, drops the puck off for Ryan Donato. Donato has to come all the way across the rink and grab it on the left wing side, and he whips the puck behind the Blues net. But this eludes Lafferty and ends up back down ice in behind the Hawk net. Connor Murphy over to stab it up the left wing side to Matt Grzelcyk. Grzelcyk with the lead pass ahead to Colton Dach. He's over the Blues line, runs into Justin Falk, who pushed him off the puck, and the other way come the Blues. Joseph racing into the Hawk zone down the left wing to the corner. Stops on the 9, put it back to Tucker, left point. He fires and it's turned out of there by Spencer Knight. Looked like the puck had redirected in on goal. And on the far corner in the Hawk zone. Levshunov pokes the puck behind the Hawk net. Grzelcyk's got it there. He'll pass up the left wing. Lafferty at center ice. He steps over the center ice red stripe and guides the puck down the boards and in behind the Blues net. And Tyler Tucker was entangled there with Frank Nazar for a moment, but kept the puck away. Got it to Justin Falk, and he'll backhand it off the glass to center ice. Gervier, quick pass across Oliver Moore. Put it in over the Blues line. Nazar, who reaches out with his foot and trips Jake Neighbors. Penalty going to be called here to the Hawks. Blues will go to the power play. Robert Thomas into the Hawks' own right point. Send it over Logan Mayo. He'll fire. He scores. Logan Mayo from the left wing circle rifles one past Spencer Knight on a delayed penalty. And the Blues take a 1-0 lead early on.
Yeah, for Mayo, his first goal of the year. And as you mentioned, delayed penalty on the Chicago Blackhawks, but a real smart play by Neighbors. He realized that he had a little bit of time, made the blue line, and then just made that cross-ice pass to the late defenseman, and that was Mayo, who was coming in off of the change. He had some speed, and maybe one that Spencer Knight would like to have back. You know, typically a shot from 50, 55 feet out does not beat Knight. Well, maybe a little bit of traffic in front of him, but a well-placed shot by Mayo, and he gives the Blues the early lead.
So it's Mayo from Thomas at 3:41 of period number 1. When we get back to the center ice face-off, they're going to redo it. Robert Thomas facing off now against Ryan Green of the Hawks. 1-0 St. Louis. They may give it an extra assist to Jake Neighbors on this play. We'll have to see. Back inside the Hawks zone, Louis Crevier behind the net. Grabs the puck, widens it up the near side, but not out of the zone. Held in by Colton Parayko, right point. He slings it over to the left wing corner. Alex Vlasic there, shot it behind the net up the near side. Ryan Green turned it over to the Hawks. Neighbors to Thomas, right circle. Sent it in on goal. Pad save made by Knight. Now here's a pass to Andre Burakovsky at center ice on the right wing. He tried to guide it into the blue zone for Green, but the puck hit a skate and the Blues get the puck back in their end. Robert Thomas, Blues line, rink wide passing over the Hawk line. Suter drop pass to Broberg. He'll fire. That goes through the Hawk crease and wide. And now Connor Bedard shot the puck across the rink. Connor Murphy will bang it off the boards down to the Blues blue line. And Parayko back to take it there. Parayko hands it out to Dalibor Dvorsky. He'll gain the Hawk blue line and dump it into the right wing corner. And Murphy and Dvorsky battle for it there. It goes behind the Hawk net. Pius Suter, the former Hawk, to get it. Put it out to the left point. Cam Fowler shanks a shot into the far circle where Connor Bedard grabs the puck, sticks it off the right side glass just over the Blues blue line. Taken by Ilya Mikheyev to Teravainen through the high slot. Drops it now at the left point. Grzelcyk, and he'll spin it down behind the Blues net. The goaltender Hofer out to play to the far corner. But Mikheyev had the puck, tried to center, picked off by the Blues. And Fabry will gain center ice. Moves it across the rink to Pius Suter near the end of his shift. He'll dump the puck into the right wing corner in the Hawk zone and get off on a change. Artyom Levshin off to the puck. Passing up the right wing side intended for Jason Dickinson. It's picked off by the Blues. Hugh McGing put the puck over to the far corner Hawk end. Levshinoff drags it behind the net and eventually one hands it up the left wing side to center ice to Ilya Mikheyev. He misses on a pass ahead for Dickinson. Picked off by the Blues. Tyler Tucker. Head to Oscar Sundqvist. He'll dump it in behind the Hawk net. And Matt Luff took it there. Works it out to the line. Tucker a long shot. It's kicked out of there by Knight. Some good traffic in front of Spencer Knight in the Hawk crease. Hugh McGing at the bottom of the left circle. Shot it across the rink. This is chipped out to center ice by Ilya Mikheyev, allowing the Hawks to get a line change.
You know, Blackhawks still without a shot on net. We're almost 6 minutes in. And earlier it was Teravainen had an excellent opportunity, but he put it over top of the crossbar.
In behind the Blues net, Dylan Holloway to the puck. Put it around on the near sideboards. Wyatt Kaiser battling there with Joseph of the Blues. Now Lafferty enters the fray, pokes it free, but Joseph will claim the puck. Move it out to Sundqvist, Blues blue line. Passing to Holloway, Hawk line on the right wing. This is past him. And Kaiser tries to poke the puck out to center ice and does. Ryan Donato's got it for the Hawks. He's into the Blues zone on the left wing. Lifts it down in behind the net. Broberg of the Blues. Drops it along the near boards. Taken by Braden Shen in the corner. He'll spin the puck behind the Blues net. And Colton Parayko there to get it. Put it out to Philip Broberg at center ice up the left wing. And he'll guide the puck down the boards in behind the Hawk net. Knight out to play to the far corner to Murphy. Head to Frank Nazar, Hawk line. He'll hand it ahead to Oliver Moore. He flips the puck into the right wing corner blue zone, racing in to get it. Put it behind the net. And he took the puck back, got it to Nazar, left circle. He'll turn and fire, and that hit Parayko and ricochets wide. Now Parayko to the puck in the near corner. Passing up the right side, Holloway at center ice. Then to Pavel Buchnevich. He's knocked off the puck. Nazar took it, put it over to Bertuzzi. A one-time shot from the right circle is into the glove of Joel Hofer, and he'll hold on. Well, that's the only shot on goal for the Hawks so far. Hofer has stopped it. 1-0 Blues with 12:54 left in period number 1. This is Blackhawks hockey on 720 WGN.
Hey, hockey fans, it's Chris Chelios. What are you sipping tonight? El Bandito Yankee is a new ultra-premium tequila that is 100% pure and natural with no additives. Just 100% blue agave. El Bandito Yankee Tequila is the most flavorful Blue Weber agave in the world. Now available at Benny's, Mariano's, Jewel, and Woodman's. Go to elbanditoyankee.com to learn more about what makes us so damn good.
Hi, this is Dave Musial, owner of Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric, with our biggest sale ever. Furnaces from just $39 a month. Furnace and air conditioning combos from just $57 a month. Plus 6 years, interest-free financing. Four Seasons guarantees to beat any competitor's price by up to $1,000. With an A-plus rating from the Better Business Bureau and over 30,000 five-star reviews, we are Chicago's trusted local experts.
For all the right reasons, call 866-4 Seasons.
That's the sound of the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program, saving you money and energy. With rebates on Energy Star appliances, so you can come back to a home full of savings. Discover more ways to save at ComEd.com/home savings. ComEd. Powering lives.
It's Tom Skilling, back to Blackhawks hockey, right here on WGN Radio. Here are the boys.
Thanks, Tom. 'Tis the season, Chicago. The holiday spirit is shining bright at the United Center this December, and there's no better way to celebrate than giving the gift of the Blackhawks. From customized gift guides to special ticket packages, there is something for every fan on your list. Check out Blackhawks.com/holidays for all the details.
I tell you, Steve, Tom Skilling was such a great weatherman. He would almost make you feel good about bad weather. You know, he was so good at it.
You know, I had an opportunity to visit with him when I used to go down to the GN studios when we did the pregame and between period stuff. Sure. He couldn't have been more generous with his time. He had better things to do, but he walked me through, all the models they had down there, whether it was a European model, the American model. Just a great gentleman.
He's all of that. Here's Connor Bedard, bottom of the right circle, blue zone, tosses the puck into the crease. It's spun out of there, but right to Grizzly. He'll fire from the high slot. Blocker save made by Hofer. Loose puck to the near boards. Buchnevich of the Blues. Passing to Neighbors over the center ice circle. Flips it into the Hawk zone, but we get a late whistle, and this play is ruled offside. So we're down to 12:31 left in period number 1 here in St. Louis. It's the Blues 1 and the Hawks no score. And I think it's a Friday night here in St. Louis, Steve, so we got a little bit of a late arriving crowd, but there are a ton of Blackhawk fans here, as there always are.
Yeah, as always. I was really surprised at Anaheim. Boy, I bet you almost a quarter, possibly a third of the fans in Anaheim wearing Chicago Blackhawk jerseys. And as well as that team is doing, I was surprised it certainly wasn't a sellout. And boy, you look at the crowds we've had at the United Center so far this year. Unbelievable. Almost a sellout every single night.
So great to see. Well, in behind the Blues net, Cam Fowler to the puck. Passing up the left wing at center ice. There to get it, Hugh McGing. He'll spin it across to Logan Mayo, who drops the puck down into the Hawk zone. Hawks get it back. Vlasic putting it out to Dickinson. Hawk line. To Ilya Mikheyev into the Blue zone right point. Sweeps it down behind the net into the near corner. Mayo took it there and passes it around, and to Fowler. He'll chip the puck to center ice. Hawks get the puck back inside the Blue zone now. Mikheyev at the right point tried to dish to the corner. This is picked off by the Blues. They're back the other way. Suter into the Hawk zone. Look out. He drops it now in the left circle. And a shot there by Dalibor Dvorsky goes wide of the Hawk crease. He had Spencer Knight one-on-one.
Yeah, somehow just lost the handle on it right at the last second. Maybe one of the defensemen there, Vlasic, got his stick in the way.
Now Philip Broberg tried to dish the puck into the Hawk zone. Kaiser steps up, took it away, got it ahead to Donato, who fires a shot from the left circle, and that deflects wide. McGing with the puck at center ice in front of the benches, turned it over into the Hawk zone. The Hawks will take it back. Kaiser with a pass on the left wing. Donato, Blues blue line. He'll slap it down behind the net. Hofer out to play it to the near corner to Parayko. A pass up the right wing to center ice. Hawks Colton Dock was able to disrupt that play. Kaiser takes the puck over to Artyom Levshunov, and he'll fire it down the right side. Glass in behind the Blues net. Penalty coming up here to the Hawks. Colton Dock got the hook into Colton Parayko, and the two of them are shoulder to shoulder as they head back up ice toward the penalty boxes, but now Parayko breaks off. Dock will go in and have a seat.
And here is the call. No mic on the referee. Great Western Canadian name, Colton. Both of those guys coming out of Western Canada. Colton Dock on Colton Parayko. And unfortunately, that hook was just on the hands of Colton Parayko, who recently became the 4th ever St. Louis Blue defenseman to reach the 300-point mark. He did that a little earlier in November.
By the way, Colton Dock and Colton Parayko are both from the Edmonton metropolitan area.
Oh, yeah. Did not know that.
Inside the Hawk zone at the left point. Puck taken by Dvorsky. Here's Dvorsky along the left boards to Justin Falk, left point. Back to Dvorsky to Robert Thomas, top of the right circle. Put it bottom of the circle, Buchnevich, who's fed the slot for Sundqvist. And he got a shot away, but it deflected past the net.
Yeah, good stick by Connor Murphy there. Sundqvist couldn't pull the trigger.
Now Sundqvist nearly turned it over at the line as it is. Murphy reaching around Dvorsky of the Blues, and Polk checks the puck to center ice, forcing the Blues to regroup. 125 on the Blues power play. Robert Thomas enters the Hawks zone, dropping it at the right point to Sundqvist. He turned it over to the Hawks' Ryan Green, and with a backhanded flip, he sends it along the left wing boards deep into the Blues zone.
Now, Connor Murphy has been a beast on the penalty kill. He's out there with Alex Vlasic, who leads this team in shorthanded ice time. In fact, he's 5th among all players in the NHL in shorthanded ice time. But Connor Murphy, just really good reads, really good anticipation.
Holloway into the Hawk zone down the left wing. Accepts the pass from Braden Shen. Put the puck behind the net where Wyatt Kaiser's hit by Shen. Blues get the puck. Cam Fowler at the left point. Whips it to Jake Neighbors' right point. Down to Shen beside the net. He grabs the puck and walks in front and fires. It's turned out of there by Knight. Shen got it back now. 42 seconds on the power play. Shen fires from the top of the right circle. Blocked by Kaiser. Fowler takes the puck left point. Whips it down behind the Hawk net. Neighbors is there. It's a little bit of a cross-check there from Kaiser. The Blues retain the puck. Holloway right wing corner to Neighbors. Put it out top of the right circle. Shen, who sidesteps Green, put it down to Neighbors beside the net. He flips it across. This is picked off by Fowler along the left board. Fowler now leaving in the left wing corner. It's spun across now to Shen along the near boards. Shen at the right point. Tried to work it down deep to the corner. Holloway then takes the puck back to the line. Nearly misplayed it. Neighbors held on to the puck in the right corner. Put it out to the slot, then to Shen, top of the right circle, firing. Blocker save made by Knight. Hawks come to full strength. Colton Dock is out of the box. In behind the Hawk net. Neighbors pushed off the puck there by Crevier, but flings it behind the net up the left wing side to Ryan Green, and he'll clear to center ice. Blues get the puck back. Here's Joseph into the Hawk zone, down the right wing side of the corner. Turning on a dime, drops it off to Parayko, top of the right circle. He'll carry down behind the net where he's hit by Wyatt Kaiser. He sends the puck around to Tyler Bertuzzi's stick, and he moves it ahead. Left shin off now to Burakovsky over the Blues line down the left wing side, and he shot it in front of the net, intended for Bedard, but Bedard's stick was all tied up by Broberg of the Blues. Here's Robbie Fabry down the left wing Hawk zone to Matt Luff in the slot. Shoots, he scores! For Matt Luff, that's his first point as a St. Louis Blue, and increases the Blues' lead to 2-0. That goal at 11:48 of period number 1.
Yeah, just Matt Luff's 3rd game with St. Louis this year, and boy, was he wide open. Very similar to Mayo in that first goal for St. Louis. The trailer wide open in the middle, and again, Spencer Knight gets beat on the glove side, and no screen in front. Perfectly placed shot, above the pad, below the glove, but I think if you ask Spencer Knight, honestly, he would like to have this one back. But then again, you don't like to see a St. Louis Blue player that wide open in a dangerous scoring area, literally 30 feet out. He beats the goalie cleanly, and he gives St. Louis the 2-0 lead.
Well, Fabry, who had an assist in last night's loss down in Nashville, now has assists in back-to-back games after rejoining the Blues, a team that drafted him as their first-round pick, 21st overall in 2014. Back inside the Hawk zone in the near corner. Braden Shen and Louis Crevier battle. Alex Vlasic enters the fray, takes the puck away, got it in front of the net to Nazar, who clears to center ice. Joseph now will dish it down in behind the Hawk net. Knight out to stop it for Nazar, the near corner. Over to Crevier, far corner. He'll bat the puck up the right wing side to center ice. Tucker took it in front of the Hawks bench and drives it down in behind the Hawk net. And Oliver Moore put the stick on both Joseph and Tucker, knocking them both down. The Blues taking exception to that as they continue to play. Ryan Donato lifts the puck down into the Blues zone. Picked off by the Blues. Mayo will clear to center ice. Kaiser took it back for the Hawks. Fires a long one in on Hofer, who blockers the puck up into the protective netting. 7:22 left in period number 1. It's the Blues 2 and the Hawks no score. Back after this break. This is Blackhawks hockey on 720 WGN.
It's the Bob Surratt Morning Zoo. Not really, but I've always wanted to say that.
WGN. Here's a club you'll want to get into, Club Citgo. It's the super easy app that opens the door to great fuel savings and more. Sign up and instantly save 23 cents per gallon on your first fill-up, plus everyday savings that really add up. You can also enter our sweepstakes with multiple winners and giveaways, like free gas for a year. And Club Citgo makes paying easy with a convenient mobile pay feature. So welcome to the club where all the action is. Download Club Citgo today. Savings could up to 30 gallons, only at participating locations. Data rates may apply.
Ellsberg gifts checked off the list. Now, time for wrapping. Earrings for Mom. A gold bracelet to match the rings Danielle wears every day. And for Dad, a new watch, because we all know he needs one. All right, this is going to be a good one.
Our favorite things for your favorite people. Shop in store at Hellsberg.com for up to 50% off.
Hi, I'm Tim Stearns from TJ Stearns. I find that people are generally unaware of certain factors that can significantly impact your path to retirement. Factors like healthcare, taxes, income, and legacy planning. As you approach retirement, if these elements are not addressed, it can have devastating effects. I call it the retirement riddle, and I love solving it. Call me. Let's discuss a Protect and Grow blueprint. 1-800-640-2256. My only minimum is that you're a nice person. 1-800-640-2256 or visit tjstearns.com.
Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, the original triple distilled, triple blended, and triple cask matured Irish whiskey. When it's game time, it's Tully time.
Well, the Chicago Blackhawks have been partnering with Vienna Beef for a special toy drive during this holiday season, and fans still have one more chance to donate during our next home game this Saturday, December 13th. Everyone attending the game is encouraged to bring unwrapped toys to help spread holiday cheer to local children in need. Visit Blackhawks.com/holidays for all the details.
And Steve, the Blackhawks did kill that St. Louis power play and came back to full strength. That was sponsored by Northwestern Medicine Orthopedics on the relentless pursuit of better medicine. Here's Ilya Mikheyev breaking down the right wing into the blue zone. Turns, fed the left circle. Teuvo Teravainen swept it in front, turned away. Teravainen got his own rebound off of the pads of Hofer and tried to tuck it in the short side, but it was pinned to the side of the net by Joel Hofer. Whistle stopping play. The Hawks have only gotten away now 4 shots on goal. And Teravainen, Stevie, delayed that just half second that I think cost him the scoring chance that he was looking for.
It might have. And Pierre Lambert, one of the referees in tonight's game, I think maybe blew the whistle a little early.
Yeah.
Even though he kind of missed on the first shot, he had a second attempt and the puck was loose. But referee, I mentioned his name, Pierre Lambert, blew the whistle a little early. And so far in this hockey game, Blackhawks with just 3 shots. Teuvo Teravainen has had some really good looks from in close.
Draw comes back to Grzelcyk, left point. Long shot from there goes wide. McGing will clear it off the left wing boards down to the Hawk blue line. Grzelcyk on the double, back to take it there. Grzelcyk turning in the Hawk zone between the circles. Will skate the puck to center ice up the left wing. Then dump it down the boards in behind the Blues net. And Falk plays it into the far corner. Ryan Donato there. The left shin off right point to Grzelcyk. Top of the left circle. Guns it in on goal. Stick save made by Hofer. He didn't know where the rebound was. And had a Hawk player been down there, they'd have one on the board here.
Yeah, really good point. Nice D-to-D. Left shin off over to Grzelcyk. Gets the shot on net and just couldn't control the rebound. Hofer, and as you mentioned, did not see where it went. So I'm sure the Blackhawks are taking note of that on the bench, realizing that, hey, if we get some traffic, this guy, and he's a big goalie, Hofer's 6'5" and well over 200 pounds, but did not do a very good job of controlling the rebound.
7 goals on 22 shots by the Hawks back in October. So far, he stopped all 4 of the Hawks' attempts here. Coming up, it's the Four Seasons. Heating, air conditioning, plumbing, and electric face-off. For all the right reasons, call 866-4Seasons. It's at center ice, over the center ice face-off dot. And Robert Thomas wins it away from Connor Bedard. Parayko dumping the puck down into the near corner netting inside the Hawk zone. So they'll face it off out of the Hawk zone at center ice.
John, tonight's broadcast is sponsored by Flight by Yuengling. Crisp, refreshing, and at only 95 calories. Flight, the next generation of light beer.
So the Blues change up their forward lines. I know Jim Montgomery wants to keep the tempo high for this team. I think your team loses 7-2. There's a lot that you can pick apart, And I'm sure tempo was a part of that because it seems like, did you see any of the game last night, by the way, Steve?
I saw the replays. I saw most of the goals. But one thing I do notice, they're breaking out a lot better. The breakouts so far for St. Louis have been clean, they've been quick, and really haven't spent much time in their own zone.
Their tempo last night, I understand, was somewhat lethargic, and Nashville seized on that and rolled up 7 on them. So, different-looking Blues team here tonight. Mayo in front of his net with a pass up the right wing. Dalibor Dvorsky at center ice. He'll snap it down in behind the Hawk net to the far corner. Mikheyev with a dangerous pass goes in front of the net for Dickinson off his stick. Vlasic takes the puck, wraps it up the left boards, and this is past Teravainen and goes down for icing against the Hawks.
Well, one thing St. Louis wasn't happy about was their play in front of the net, and they thought they were just way too soft. In Nashville, most of their goals scored on second and third opportunities. In fact, their captain, Braden Shen, said, it's just too soft. And when you're in front of our net or in front of their net, you got to be a lot stronger. And so far, they've done that in this game.
Blues get control off the draw. Philip Broberg at the left point tosses down to the inboards. Dylan Holloway, a University of Wisconsin Badger, from the left wing board, sticks it in behind the net. Dug out by Vlasic. Ahead to Mikheyev at center ice, and he'll whip it off the boards down to the Blues blue line. Hawks go for a line change. Parayko with a pass to Shen across the Hawk line down the right wing. He runs into Artyom Levshinov in the corner. Levshinov pokes the puck up the left wing side. Bertuzzi shot the puck rink wide. Here's Nazar. Nearly coughed it up over the center ice circle, but now has it back. He'll wave it down the left side boards in behind the Blues net. Hofer out to play it to the near corner to Parayko. Parayko's pass is now taken by Neighbors ahead to Robert Thomas. Crossing the Hawk line, stopping at the left point. At the left circle, Pavel Buchnevich. A back pass is picked off by Justin Falk, who races into the left circle. Then to the net and fires, and that's turned out of there by Knight. Knight needs a little bit of help. Nazar takes an outlet pass from Oliver Moore to center ice at the end of his shift. He'll dump it off the right wing boards and down behind the Blues net.
Another example of St. Louis breaking out cleanly, very quickly, and got to keep the puck away from Joel Hofer. He's a pretty good goalie at playing the puck, almost like a third defenseman back there.
Here's Wyatt Kaiser accepting a pass on the near side boards. Hands it back to Connor Bedard, breaking through center. Andre Burakovsky over the Blues line to Kaiser in the slot. He fires, he scores! Second goal of the year for Wyatt Kaiser. No doubter there, and a perfect setup by Andre Burakovsky. That's a momentum-changing kind of a goal, and Kaiser let it rip and beat Hofer cleanly over the blocker. It's 2-1 in favor of St. Louis.
Wow, what a shot. And with that goal, it's time to break out the Bandito, celebrate every goal this season with El Bandito Yankee Tequila. And yeah, very similar to both St. Louis goals, that a forward making the blue line, holding up, finding the late trailer. That's the defenseman, and a perfectly placed shot. Boy, Wyatt Kaiser just beat Hofer over the blocker, inside the post. I think he saw it the whole way, but that thing had some velocity behind it. And, John, as you mentioned, a real big goal for Chicago late in this first period.
Wasn't that too much? Steve, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but was that look kind of similar to the one that he scored in L.A.?
Yeah, exactly. Kind of a wrister like that. We talked about the velocity of that shot, too.
Well, 2-1 in favor of the Blues. They have the puck in the Hawk zone now. McGing in the right corner. DeMeo at the right point. Long shot from there, blocked in front by Donato. Sundqvist takes the puck in behind the net, leaving it for Matt Luff. Luff now put it to the right circle. Mayo fires, and Knight got a piece of that, knocking it wide with the blocker, and the puck deflects out to center ice. Blues get the puck back. Here's Mayo dumping it down to the right wing corner Hawk zone. Oh, it's Colton Dock and Logan Mayo shake off the mitts. They're going to have a go over the center ice circle. The main event. The two of them take the marquee to Queensberry stance, and now they lock up. Mayo throws a right and another right. Colton Dock hits 1, 2, 3, 4 right hands. Mayo swings a right. Hits Dock in the helmet. Dock swings an uppercut, then an overhand right. They continue to grapple at the Blues blue line, each flailing away. And now Mayo grabbing hold of Doc. Doc doing likewise. Doc wrestles him down to the ice. Mayo's helmet pops off. We give the decision to Colton Dock. A spirited scrap. One that we were kind of anticipating whenever we come to St. Louis.
That was a real good scrap, and a great job by Colton Dock. He wanted to change the momentum of this hockey game. Colton Mayo, to make that Mayo, they got to give him credit. They're not too sure that he's in the same weight category as Colton Dock, and he held his own.
5 minutes each for fighting. So 5 for fighting each. Logan Mayo is a good-sized kid, Steve. He came over from the Montreal Canadiens. We'll talk more about it after the break. 2-1 in favor of the Blues. The crowd is suddenly awake again. With 3:33 left in period number 1, this is Blackhawks hockey on 720 WGN.
Finding health insurance can be so confusing. People need help. That's why I work for Get Covered Illinois.
We are the state's official health insurance marketplace.
And we're here to help. With thousands of brokers certified by the state and hundreds of trained insurance guides, what we call navigators, available in communities across Illinois.
All free.
At getcoveredillinois.gov, we're here to help.
After the end of a good fight, you deserve an ice-cold reward. Modelo, the mark of a fighter. You've earned this rich golden lager with a crisp, refreshing taste. Because you know, the bigger the fight, the better the reward. You put in the hours, the energy, the tough labor. You are a fighter, and Modelo is your reward. Modelo, the mark of a fighter. Drink responsibly. Beer imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
Chicago hockey fans love a good power play. And when it comes to selling your house, you want a team you can trust.
That's why Jeff Buys Your House is your winning play. No repairs, no commissions, and you pick the closing date.
That's like skating on a clean sheet of ice, fast and smooth.
We're a local, veteran-owned company that's been helping Chicagoland homeowners since 2007.
Make the smart move and go for the win. Visit JeffBuysYourHouse.com for your no-obligation offer today.
It's Ryan Donato. Listen to John Landecker, weeknights at 7 on WGN Radio.
We'll give the gift of the Blackhawks this holiday season. Our retail gift guides offer fan-favorite collections for everyone you'll be shopping for this year. From hats and shirts to jerseys and all other accessories, make this holiday season special for all the Blackhawk fans in your life. Shop today in team stores or online at cbhshop.com.
And a nice moment here where they recognize a member of our military, and the gentleman had served for our country in the Vietnam conflict. And folks, he was wearing a Kelly Chase Hockey Fights Cancer jersey, and it was really, really touching. I mean, Kelly Chase is in a battle with the awful disease as well. And so I thought it was a nice gesture by that man and for this crowd to recognize him. And thank you again to the men and women in our military for keeping us free by serving us with your dedication and courage throughout your length of service. Thank you very much. Back inside the blue zone, Cam Fowler to the puck to the left of his net. Will move up between the circles with it and out to his blue line. Then he decides to take a little loop with the puck back deeper into the blue zone and hold it as the Blues make a line change.
Yeah, this fan base in St. Louis, obviously very appreciative of former St. Louis Blues, the military, and that last bout they just saw between Colton Dock and Mailou. It just pretty good heavyweight tilt.
Sure was. Kind of remind you of the way Kelly Chase used to chuck him, you know? Back inside the blue zone, Philip Broberg takes the puck away, and he'll skate at the center. Dumps it off the right corner boards and in behind the Hawk net to the left wing corner. Ryan Green sent it in behind to Crevier. To Vlasic in the near corner. And Thomas came along and strips it away, but then he lost the puck to Green, who will clear off the boards to center ice. Parayko for the Blues. Passing over to Broberg, front of the benches. To Buchnevich over the Hawk blue line. Drops it into the high slot. Thomas had it, got it to Broberg. Broberg in the right wing corner to Thomas, right circle. Made a back pass, nobody home. This will slide all the way down to the Blues blue line, and the Hawks will take advantage and get a line change. Here's Falk with the puck now behind the Blues net. Falk moving out with it up the right side. Passing over to Cam Fowler. Fowler crossing the Hawk blue line into the left circle and fires. Kicked out of there by Knight. Kaiser clears the puck off the near boards to center ice. Blues get it back at center ice. Joseph dropping at the shin, then back to Fowler between the circles, Blues in. Fowler advances to center ice, turned the puck over to the Hawks' Oliver Moore, who was tied up at the Hawk blue line there by Braden Shen, who knocks the puck down behind the Hawk net off the board.
It's a real good save by Spencer Knight off of Cam Fowler. The nice one-on-one move on Connor Murphy gets a clean shot and a big kick save.
Nazar into the Hawk, the blue zone, hands it off to Bertuzzi, who fires from the left circle. That's off the end of the glove of Hofer. And from the right point, Levshunov fires. That hit Nazar and deflects down ice into the Hawk zone. Nazar's going to hobble the Hawk bench here. The Blues on the attack. A shot from Shen from the left circle, kicked out by Knight. Now Shen at the right point. leaving it for Holloway. Holloway along the right side boards. Was angled into the corner boards by Tyler Bertuzzi. We're under a minute to play, by the way, in period number 1. Here's Parayko taking the puck. Top of the right circle to Dvorsky. He'll whip it in on goal. And a butterfly save is made by Spencer Knight.
Well, that's 3 really good saves by Spencer Knight just over the last 30 seconds. That one from the point was redirected. Earlier, it was Levshunov who turned one over to Shen, just right in front of the net. And again, that left pad just came out of nowhere. A really good stop for him. So, there's a perfect example of Spencer Knight giving up 2 goals in the first 4 shots. Maybe a couple of them he'd like to have back, and then he just resettles himself and really gets into his zone and made 2 huge stops. St. Louis scores a goal late in the first period, and they go up by a couple of goals. That's a huge momentum swing.
Well, the draw circle to Knight's left. Blues get control off the draw, and Justin Falk will fire from the right point. And it looked like Ilya Mikheyev got a stick in there, deflecting that one up into the protected netting.
Talked to Alex Vlasic about the use of sticks. We were talking specifically about the penalty kill, and I said, do you get a block shot for that? He goes, absolutely. He said that deflecting a puck into the netting is as good as blocking it with your shin pads.
Off the draw, Falk again for the right point. Carries through the high slot, over to the left wing boards, into the corner. Backhands the puck in front. It was into the skates of Jason Dickinson, who was in the process of tying up the stick of Robert Thomas so that he couldn't get involved. Dvorsky dropping in the left wing corner. Robert Thomas, the Blues' leading scorer. Thomas sent it out to the line. Fowler, long wrist shot from there, punched out with a blocker save by Knight. 12 seconds left in the period. Dickinson shovels the puck up the right wing. Teravainen and Hochline will stroke it down ice into the blue zone. Ilya Mikheyev took it away behind the net with 4. Put the puck in front. Thomas picks it off. He'll loop in behind his net as the horn sounds. Ending play here in period number 1. So this period went the Blues' way pretty much in every way. They outscored the Hawks 2-1, and they doubled them up, by the way, in the shots on goal as well, 12-6. But a nice response by the Hawks' Wyatt Kaiser to make sure the Hawks didn't get shut out here tonight.
Yeah, I think that was a real important goal, a response from the Blackhawks, because as you mentioned, it was St. Louis who was carrying play, and you had to stop the bleeding, and I think that goal by Wyatt Kaiser certainly did that, and even after that goal, they had a couple of good looks. So they're not out of it. I don't think they like the way they played in that first period. They've got to do a better job of forechecking St. Louis. St. Louis just came out of their own zone way too easily. And let's see if they can put out a good, strong second period.
I was going to say, Steve, that the Hawks have tightened things up here in the last few second periods and take away the 2 games on the West Coast. That's 2 you just want to forget about. But the Blues, statistically, and by the way, they have surrendered they've got the highest goal disparity or worst goal disparity coming into this game. They were a minus 35. In second periods alone, they've given up 18 more goals than they've scored. So we'll see if this second period turns into one where the Hawks can reassume control or take control of this game.
Yeah, I think the Black, they're a young team. They're one of the youngest teams in the NHL. I think they're learning about second periods and how important they are. And when you've got the opposition on the ropes, and when you have the opposition on the ropes, out there for an extended period of time, that's when your eyes should light up, because it's tough for those guys to get off. You can maybe get some fresh troops out there, and you look at how a lot of goals scored in the second period. It's typically when the opposition team is on the ice for too long, and they just, your legs stop working and your brain stops working too.
And you remember the Blues were in Nashville last night, and they took that awful beating by the Nashville Predators. Who knows what their energy stores are like, especially as you get late into a shift in the second period.
Well, that's a good point. It wasn't that long a travel night for them, but they did give up 7 goals, and Nashville had not scored 7 goals this year. That was their career high this year. So an embarrassing game for them, but I think they responded just the way their head coach, Jim Montgomery, wanted them to.
All right, we're watching the little tots down on the ice surface have at it. This is as entertaining as the hockey game almost. Oh, I remember that day with my kids. 2-1 in favor of the Blues here after 1 period in St. Louis. Charlie Romeliotis is standing by in Blackhawk Central. He's going to have a full intermission report. Then we're back down Interstate 55 to St. Louis for second period action. This is Blackhawks hockey on 720 WGN.
Hey, Chicago Blackhawks fans! I know you'd do anything for a win on game day and an ice-cold Bud Light. Because whether you're tailgating in the parking lot or parked on the couch, sitting on your lucky stool at the bar, or standing in the fan section all game long, a win isn't a win without the clean, crisp taste of Bud Light. And there's nothing easier to enjoy than that. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hearing I had cancer was devastating. Learning vital organs would be temporarily removed to reach it had me speechless. I'm Jessica. When I found out I had a tumor stretching from my heart to my hip, the first thing I thought of was my family. Then my cancer, cardiology, and transplant team at Northwestern Medicine came up with a plan to save my life.
Nationally ranked for cancer by U.S. News and World Report, Northwestern Memorial Hospital was one of the only hospitals in the nation with the collective expertise to perform Jessica's 10-hour surgery. After temporarily removing her liver and kidney to reach the tumor, they replaced the damaged vein and removed the additional cancer that had grown into her heart.
My team stopped at nothing so that I'm able to be here with my family.
Because what makes us better makes you better. Northwestern Medicine. Learn more at nm.org/better.
This is the sound of Claire, cooking dinner at home. And that's the sound of a fraud alert from Wells Fargo, flagging a charge for a pricey restaurant in Paris. Considering Claire isn't in Paris right now, that seemed odd. To the bank and to Claire. 2 taps later, Claire says nope to the charge, and Wells Fargo is on the case. However you make money work, Wells Fargo can work with that.
Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
Permaseal, the leader in basement waterproofing, also offers foundation repair, concrete restoration, and attic insulation. Call 800-421-SEAL or visit permaseal.net.
Time for a break. It's intermission time. That's a wrap. Here's Charlie Remiliotis with your intermission update.
20 minutes is in the books between the Blackhawks and Blues over in St. Louis. And St. Louis is up 2-1. The Blues scored the first 2 goals of this game in the opening frame, and the Hawks countered with Wyatt Kaiser scoring his second of the season. And really felt like since that Wyatt Kaiser goal, the Blackhawks started to look more like themselves, whereas St. Louis was certainly the better team in that first half of the first period. So let's see what the second period brings. Time now to check out the odds according to Circa Sports Illinois. One of the cool prop bets you can bet on the Circa Sports Illinois app is whether a goal will be scored in the first 5 minutes of the game. No was minus 200 tonight, but yes was plus 175, which ended up hitting because Logan Mayu scored 341 into this game. Every time the Blackhawks win this season, someone will win a 2-night stay at Circa Resort and Casino, and another 100 people will get a $100 credit on the Circa app. See the Blackhawks contest page for details. A very light NHL schedule tonight on Friday because tomorrow will be a loaded slate. Only one other game on the docket, and it's between the Seattle Kraken and Utah Mammoth, which is the puck is gonna drop at the top of the hour. The Kraken are going for their second win in a row after snapping a 6-game winless skid on Wednesday against LA. The Kraken were 0-5-1 during that stretch. On the other end for Utah, the Mammoth got some more clarity on their prized young center, Logan Cooley's injury yesterday, and it's not great news. He's going to be out at least 8 weeks with a lower body injury, and then he's going to be reevaluated again. So it sounds like he's going to be out for beyond 8 weeks, so essentially 2 months. That's according to GM Bill Armstrong. Cooley's been out since December 5th after he slid into the net. Left leg crashed hard into the post, and so the timeline will take him to the Olympic break. So that's really tough news for the Utah Mammoth. Cooley is their leading goal scorer with 14 goals, and they have lost all 3 games in regulation since he's been out of the lineup. All right, let's get to some other NHL news. There were quite a few trades in the NHL today. We start at earlier this morning. The Edmonton Oilers made 2 trades. The first one was with the Pittsburgh Penguins, where Edmonton acquired Tristan Jarry and forward Samuel Poulin, the 21st overall pick in 2019, and sent Pittsburgh goaltender Stuart Skinner, defenseman Brett Kulak, and a 2029 second-round pick. There was no salary retention in that trade. We know that was kind of a point of contention a few weeks ago between Edmonton and Pittsburgh when they visited these trade talks. And so Edmonton is looking to change up their goalie mix. Fresh start for Skinner in Pittsburgh. And then the Oilers also acquired defenseman Spencer Stastny from the Nashville Predators for a third-round pick in 2027 to obviously help fill the void of Brett Kulak. He's a solid puck mover, moving blue line. Stastny, by the way, is a Woodbridge, Illinois native, so he goes to Edmonton. And then how about the blockbuster that just happened about an hour and a half ago in the NHL? Norris Trophy winning defenseman Quinn Hughes has been traded from the Vancouver Canucks to the Minnesota Wild in exchange for Zeev Buium, Marco Rossi, Liam Ogren, and a first-round pick in 2026. So a massive deal that has some ramifications in the Western Conference. Quinn Hughes now coming to the Central Division with the Minnesota Wild. So that is going to be a talking point, I'm sure, for the coming days in the NHL. And then some other injury news. Tampa Bay Lightning defenseman Victor Hedman was placed on injured reserve. He previously missed 12 games with an injury, returned for 3 games. Now he's back on the shelf. The team announced later this afternoon that he is undergoing a procedure on his elbow on Monday. He's expected to return in early February, so he's going to be out a couple months. But the good news is for Hedman is he's expected to be available for Team Sweden in the Olympics, which is happening in February. And then finally, New York Islanders leading scorer Bo Horvat left last night's game with a lower body injury, but he has been ruled day to day. He's obviously on Team Canada's radar for the Olympics as well. So a sigh of relief that it's not an extended period of time missed for the New York Islanders leading scorer. Meanwhile, in St. Louis, the Blackhawks are down 2-1 to the Blues through 1 period. We'll take a quick break and break down that first period next. You're listening to Blackhawks Hockey on 720 WGN.
Hey, Hawks fans, it's Jeremy Roenick, and you're listening to Blackhawks Hockey, the only place you can. WGN Radio.
1. Some say it's the loneliest number. But when 1 is a collection of many, of families and communities, partners and teams, 1 can stand for all. At Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, we've been your one local and trusted healthcare partner for nearly 90 years. And through every journey, our one true focus has remained the same: expanding access to the highest quality, affordable health care for our members and the communities we share for every stage of life. And as we continue to empower whole person health with compassion and innovation, one member at a time, we look forward to keeping you and the ones you love at the center of everything we do. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, through it all.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, a division of Healthcare Service Corporation, a mutual legal reserve company.
December isn't just the holiday season, it's one of the most exciting times to wager. With the NFL playoff race heating up and college bowl season underway, there's never been a better moment to jump into the action with Circa Sports Illinois. Circa delivers high limits, low holds, and unmatched customer service, built for people who want to win big. From NBA and NHL action to college bowls and the NFL playoff push, Circa Sports has you covered. Don't wait. Download the Circa Sports Illinois app today at circasports.com.
The professionals at Plumbers 911 Chicago are ready to answer your call. They'll get your plumbing job done right the first time. Their phones are open 24/7, 1-833-PLUM-911.
There's never been a better time to test drive that Hyundai you've always wanted. Hyundai's award-winning lineup of cars, SUVs, hybrids, and electric vehicles put your safety first with available class-exclusive features like digital key and remote, smart parking assist, plus America's best warranty. See your local Chicago and Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealer or visit HyundaiUSA.com today. First intermission in St. Louis, the Blackhawks trail the Blues 2-1. through 20 minutes of play, the St. Louis Blues found the back of the net. They got the first 2 goals in this game. It was Logan Mailloux, just over 3.5 minutes into the game, and then scoring again with 8:12 left in the the first period. But the Blackhawks end up getting the second goal, or Wyatt Kaiser's second goal of the game, to make it 2-1 with 4:10 left in that first period. And it was kind of injecting a sign of life into the Blackhawks after a tough first period. How about this though? So Connor Bedard picks up a secondary assist on the Wyatt Kaiser goal, which was his second. And ESPN just put up a graphic on their intermission that Connor Bedard is second in the entire NHL in highest percentage of team goals factored on. So Bedard is factored in on 43 of Chicago's 90 goals this season, 47.8% essentially for Chicago's goals. Number 1 is Macklin Celebrini at 49.4%, but behind Bedard, so number 3 is Connor McDavid at 46.6%. So, I mean, what an unbelievable company those three players, Celebrini, Bedard. We know that it's going to be crunch time here in the next coming weeks about whether or not they're going to be included on Team Canada's roster. But boy, they are making a very strong case. Connor Bedard, I know he got the secondary assist on Wyatt Kaiser's goal, but his zone entry helped set it up. He passed it to Andre Burakovsky, and then Wyatt Kaiser finds the back of the net. So great to see Connor Bedard pick up yet another point for the Blackhawks, and hopefully he will continue to add to that total when the second period begins. On the other side of the break, you're listening to Blackhawks Hockey on 720 WGN.
It's Andy Mazer. We're your home for the Blackhawks, Northwestern football and basketball, the NFL, and Hampton OB. This is AM 720 WGN Chicago.
Marquette Bank has been Chicagoland's neighborhood bank for 80 years. 80 years is a long time. Marquette Bank is here to help you build savings, buy a home, plan for retirement. Marquette Bank is here to help you achieve your financial goals. When you bank with Marquette Bank, good things happen for you and your neighborhood. Marquette Bank, love where you bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 462926.
With 100 years on the ice, the Blackhawks know what it takes to build a legacy. Since 1936, Culligan is proudly called Chicago home, delivering high-quality water solutions to build a legacy of trust, innovation, and service. As the Blackhawks' official water provider, Culligan gives you cleaner, safer, better-tasting water at home, at work, and while you sing when the Hawks score a goal. Global leaders with hometown hearts, Culligan understands that taking better care of water means taking better care of you, your home, and the world around you. Culligan, water you love.
Hey, hockey fans, it's Troy Murray. If you're ready to upgrade your outdoor living space, look no further than TimberTech Decking and Railing, the #1 premium composite decking brand, tough enough to handle anything. It looks like real wood, but without the costly maintenance of a wood deck. It won't rot, warp, splinter, or peel, ever. And it's backed by industrial-leading warranties, so your deck will last year after year after year. Connect with a local contractor or order free samples at TimberTech.com to see the TimberTech difference for yourself. TimberTech, everything wood should be.
Hey, Jeremy Roenick here. I've seen a lot of stat sheets in my career, but when it comes to beer, these numbers jump off the page. Flight by Yingling, 2.6 carbs, 95 calories, and brewed with crisp, refreshing flavor. That's not just light beer, it's light beer with game, and it's brewed by the oldest brewery in America. Bottom line, if you care about performance and taste, Flight by Yingling brings both. Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. DG Yingling & Son, Pottsville, PA.
Before and after every Bears game, tune into Hampton OB right here on 720 WGN.
It's go time.
Sponsored by your local Chevy dealers and the Chevy Silverado, official truck partner of the Chicago Bears. Up next, the second period. Here's Charlie Rebelliotis with your recap.
Blackhawks and Blues are on the ice for the start of the second period over at Enterprise Center. It was St. Louis being the better team in that first period. They get the first 2 goals of the game. Logan Mailloux and Matt Luff with both of their first goals of the season. But then the Blackhawks countered and finally put themselves on the board thanks to a goal by Wyatt Kaiser for his second of the season.
Here's Wyatt Kaiser accepting a pass on the near sideboards, hands it back to Connor Bedard, breaking through center. Andre Burakovsky over the Blues line to Kaiser in the slot. He fires, he scores! Second goal of the year for Wyatt Kaiser. No doubter there, and a perfect setup by Andre Burakovsky. That's a momentum-changing kind of a goal, and Kaiser let it rip and beat Hofer cleanly over the blocker. It's 2-1 in favor of St. Louis.
Kaiser's second goal of the season, but it's also his second goal in his last 5 games after he had 0 in his first 25. And then if you rewind to last season, he finished the season with no goals in 15 games. So he went 40 games between scoring a goal, and now he's got 2 in his last 5. So how about that? What's on Deck is sponsored by TimberTech Decking and Railing, #1 in premium decking. Order free samples at timbertech.com as we throw it back over to John and Steve at Enterprise Center.
All right, thank you very much, Charlie. Well, last night in Nashville, and keep in mind this is last night, but last night in Nashville, the Blues were outscored in the second period 4-2. The Blackhawks' last game was against the New York Rangers, where they outscored the Rangers 2-0 in the second period. I seem to be going on and on and on with the second periods. I know that we've got listeners out there that are probably like, Whiteman, will you get off the second period stuff? It's old, okay? But I bring it up because second periods are significant because of the length that it takes for players to get to their benches in a change. So we'll see if the Blackhawks bring one of those second periods like they did the other night against New York, or if we see something else. And we'll see what the Blues do. They're looking for improvement. Underway here in the second period. Tucker dumps the puck to the right wing corner, Hawk zone. Moore is hit, but hands the puck ahead to Kaiser. To Bertuzzi up the left wing side. Can't clear the zone. Holloway took it away, high slot. He'll fire. That hit Murphy and deflects wide. Nazar to the puck. He'll race up the left wing through center ice over the Blues line. Hands it down to Moore, who let the puck go down to the corner. Holloway doubling back for the Blues. Will take the puck away, spun it around to the near side. Bertuzzi picks it off and fires toward the net. Stuck away by Hofer. Now Kaiser fires from the line, and Hofer gloves the puck and holds it. And we get a whistle stopping play. And, of course, Tyler Bertuzzi was barreling to the front of the net.
Yeah, and that's always a good sign. Wyatt Kaiser with that goal in the first period. That's his second shot on net. In fact, 3 of the first 6 shots by the Blackhawks in this game came from defensemen. So today's NHL, it just seems like everyone collapses down low to help out, and as a result, the points are open. The defensemen are typically open. So watch for the Blackhawks. Maybe try and beat some of these defensemen with big shots. Louis Crevier out there with one of the hardest shots in the NHL right now.
Vlasic, no slouch either. And here's Crevier firing from the right wing boards. Redirected in on goal by Green. Turned out by Hofer. Now Parayko in the far corner, Blues end. Spun the puck out to the line. Connor Bedard plays it to the Hawk blue line. Andre Burakovsky there to Ryan Green, Blues line. He'll fling it down the boards in behind the net. Hofer gave it away onto Bedard's stick. Then he had it knocked off his stick with a poke check. Vlasic now from the line. To Burakovsky, top of the left circle. Had the puck slotted off his stick there by Robert Thomas and down ice into the Hawk zone. Vlasic recovering it. Got it ahead Ryan Green. He had it knocked off his stick at the Blues blue line. And now Burakovsky takes control center ice front of the benches. Gave the puck to Green. Checked by Neighbors. Had the puck, lost it. Got it back. Got it to Burakovsky right in front of the Hawk bench. He's at the end of his shift, so he'll toss it down the left wing boards and in behind the Blues net and get off on a change.
Joel Hofer, normally pretty sure-handed when he comes out of the net, but that time Koft went up to maybe the worst guy he could give it away to, Connor Bedard, who's sitting on 19 goals right now, waiting to score number 20.
Here's Levshunov to a puck behind the Hawk net. Sweeps it around with the right wing side. Teravainen there. Hawk line to Grzelcyk through center ice. Crossing the Blues line to the left point where he flings the puck down behind the net. Hofer out to play it into the far corner to Falk. Moving it ahead to Dvorsky at center ice. He sent it ahead Fowler into the Hawk zone, who threw the puck to the far boards. Matt Grzelcyk there to pump it ahead. This deflects all the way down, and icing's going to be called here to the Hawks. We're down to 17:56 left in the second period. 2-1 St. Louis.
John, all Blackhawks wins this season are sponsored by Circa Sports Illinois. Download your new bookie today at circasports.com. Mentioned Connor Bedard sitting on 19 goals. He is tied for 4th in the entire NHL in goal scoring, trailing Connor McKinnon. Make that Nathan McKinnon, he's got 25 goals. Morgan Geekie at 22. And Jason Robertson, 20 goals.
I can guarantee you, you aren't the first and you won't be the last to call Nathan McKinnon Connor McKinnon and Connor McDavid Nathan McDavid. Yeah. It's going to go around. I know where you're going there, Steve. Inside the Hawk zone in the near corner. Ilya Mikheyev to a puck. Had it knocked off his stick in front of the net by Luff, but picked off by Grzelcyk of the Hawks. He'll flip a slow one along the left wing boards down into the blue zone. Not far enough for icing, but far enough for the Hawks to get a line change.
Yeah, well-placed shot by the defender, and a good idea not to ice the puck when you get a little tired out there.
Logan Mayo enters the Hawks zone, was tripped, no call. Ryan Donato the other way over the Blues line, right circle. Put it in front for Lafferty. It's just over his stick. Lafferty got the puck back, sends it to the right point to Murphy. He'll fire toward the net. That goes wide. Logan Mayo to the puck along the right boards. Blues end. Will pass out to Hugh McGing at center ice, and from in front of the Blues bench, he backhands it down in behind the Hawk net, and the Blues make a line change.
Logan Mayo has been very noticeable in this game, obviously scoring a goal. That was also his first ever NHL fight, so good job on his first fight up against, well, I don't want to say seasoned veteran, but a guy who's dropped him before at Golden Dot.
All Mayo needs now is an assist for the Gordie Howe hat trick. Murphy runs over Dvorsky at center ice, in front of the penalty boxes. Lafferty got the puck in front of the Hawks bench and lifts it down in behind the Blues net. Tyler Tucker there. He became entangled with Connor Bedard in the left wing corner in the blue zone. Tucker trying to force the puck up the boards. Andrei Burakovsky in to reach in, take it away to Bedard. The Grizzlick left point down to Bedard, top of the left circle. The Grizzlick a line with a drive, and that was stopped in front of the net by Justin Falk, who blocked the shot. Hugh Suter behind the Blues net. Checked into the far corner there by Burakovsky. Puck taken away by Bedard. He flings it up the slot, but nobody is home, and this will slide down ice into the Hawks zone. This will allow the Blues a line change as the Hawks get the puck back.
That's unfortunate because there was wide open ice right in front of Hofer. Unfortunately, that pass from Bedard went right down the middle of both defensemen. Matt Grizzlick with his third shot on net already.
Here's Robert Thomas into the Hawks zone down the right wing, turning on the half boards. Gave it to Buchnevich now in the right corner to the line. Parayko bombs away from there. That hit Jake Neighbors, his teammate, who goes down in a heap in front of the Hawks net. He's going to limp to the bench. Meanwhile, Crevier into the blue zone down the left wing. Shovels the puck in front for Bertuzzi. Bounces away to Bedard, who stuck a backhander toward the net, and he didn't get all of it. He ends up popping it through the air and into the glove of Joel Hofer.
Boy, I really feel for Jake Neighbors right now because Colton Parayko, and you know as well as anyone, John, he can bring it. He's got one of the heaviest shots. We talk about Louis Crevier. Colton Parayko can bring it with that kind of velocity, and when you get in the back of the leg, there's not a lot of protection back there, not a lot of padding, and he took that one full force right in the back of the calf, it looks like. And down to the other end, Blackhawks with a good opportunity. Hofer making another big glove save.
As Foster Hewitt was wont to say, Steve, he's on the limp. I don't know if you remember Foster.
I certainly do. One of my favorites of all time. He'll be on the limp for a while.
Yeah. And center ice, the Blues get the puck back. Holloway into the Hawk zone to Parayko down the right wing to the corner. He stops there and shovels the puck behind the net. Levshinoff put Holloway into the boards and down. The puck now taken by Shen left wing corner. Put it to Holloway back of the net. It's over a stick to the corner. Holloway in the right wing corner battling now with Frank Nazar, who wins the battle. Got it to Grizzlick. He'll pass the puck out to Oliver Moore, who uses his skate to kick the puck to center ice. Blues reclaim the puck. Braden Shen into the Hawk zone right point. Sends it down to the corner. Grizzlick handling it there. Waves the puck behind the net. Levshinoff there. Passing up the right side, Oliver Moore at center ice, and he redirects the puck down in beside the Blues net where Hofer put it in behind. Now Fowler to center ice to McGing over the Hawk line down the left wing, centered across, and it's slapped toward the net there by Sundqvist, but he hit the side of the net. Here's Ilya Mikheyev firing the puck off of Mayo and down into the blue zone to the right wing corner. Dickinson circling in, tried to get to it, kind of stabbed it out of there. Dickinson now for the right circle, fires, and a shoulder save is made by Hofer. Hawks putting on some decent pressure here.
Yeah, that's a tough save. Watch this. Oh, offside is the call.
Yeah, you get a whistle as Wyatt Kaiser, standing at the Blues blue line, looked like he used his right foot to soccer style kick the puck back into the blue zone. Shame on me for calling the puck the ball. Sorry about that. Mea culpa.
Yeah, that happens. Jason Dickinson, that kind of a turnover, a quick shot from the high slot down the other end. McGing, who scored his first ever NHL goal last night in Nashville in the 7-2 loss, set up one of his teammates. And St. Louis Blues obviously not at full health. Snuggerud out, Walker out, Toropchenko out, Jordan Kyrou, Nick Bukestad still out. So it's not just St. Louis. It's throughout the entire NHL. Of course, the Blackhawks still without the services of Nick Foligno, who hopefully is close to returning.
Yeah, let's hope. The comparative records, I looked it up today, and I can't share it right now with the listeners because they're playing, but if I get an opportunity, I want to. The team seems to play, record-wise anyway, to play a lot more inspired with Nick in the lineup. And that's maybe not fair to say, but We may get into that if we can. Back in the Hawk zone, Teravainen, he's hit right at the Blues bench there by Robbie Fabry and goes into the Blues bench. Meanwhile, Fabry down the right wing Hawk zone fires. Butterfly save made by Spencer Knight. And Tavo has successfully climbed off the Blues bench and gotten back into the play.
And that was the reason they had such a long look there. Big hit. And that's obviously part of the game plan for St. Louis. They've come out hitting.
Oh, you look at the smiles on the Blues bench after that hit. Tavo didn't think it was too funny. 13:21 left in period number 2 here in St. Louis. It's the Blues 2 and the Hawks 1. This is Blackhawks hockey on 720 WGN.
Give people a place to gather and make fire the focal point of your home again. With a majestic fireplace or insert, you'll enjoy the warmth and ambiance of fire with contemporary style and the latest technology. Whether you're looking for wood, electric, or gas, indoors or out, Majestic offers a broad range of sizes and styles. Visit their showroom on Bowes Road in Elgin or call for a free estimate. 847-741-5903. 847-741-5903. House of Fireplaces, giving you a warm feeling since 1953.
The holidays are a perfect time to pop the question. At Rogers & Hollins, you'll find intentional, unforgettable engagement rings or design your own through their custom studio. With an industry-leading return policy, in-house financing, and more, Rogers & Hollins has been the engagement expert for 115 years. And with their big holiday sale on now, it's the perfect time to say, this is the one. Explore at fornowandforever.com.
Rogers and Hollins, for now and forever.
This coming spring, the Lake Zurich Area Chamber of Commerce is empowering its community like never before. From the first women's leadership cohort in Lake County, designed to inspire and elevate women in business, to their Breaking Barriers Summit, giving women and minority business owners the tools to overcome challenges and grow with confidence. They are even celebrating the next generation with the National Civic Speed for 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. Check out all this and more at lzacc.com.
Hey, this is Chris Chelios. Let's get back to Hawks hockey. Here's the boys.
Well, join us at the United Center this Saturday, December 13th, as we conclude the Madhouse chapter of our centennial season with our celebration night. Patrick Kane and the Red Wings will come to town in what's sure to be another great matchup between these historic franchises. That's not all. The first 8,000 fans will also receive an exclusive Chris Chelios bobblehead presented by Ticketmaster. Tickets are available now at blackhawks.com/tickets.
Now the Blues on the attack. Jake Neighbors back on there from the right point of the Hawk zone. He tried to flip the puck in front, and it deflects wide. The Blues now get the puck back at center ice. Robert Thomas dropping the puck on the Hawk line. Pavel Buchnevich moves it to Fowler. Left wing circle, sent it to the net. Glove save made by Spencer Knight. And Buchnevich did a little flyby in front of Spencer Knight to try and distract him a little bit, but Spencer wasn't fooled.
Yeah, I know he wasn't, but I think that shot might have been deflected by his own defenseman, so that's a good save by Spencer Knight. And St. Louis has done a real good job of finding that late man joining the zone, and typically it's the defenseman, the trailer on the play, and real good stop by Knight. And we talked about the St. Louis Blues team. You know, prior to that loss to Chicago earlier in October, mid-October, the 8-3 shellacking, they had beaten Chicago 5 straight times. So that was something the Blackhawks wanted to turn in a hurry, and they did.
And there was definite ownership by the Blues in that category. Now back in the Hawk zone, Vlasic clears the puck to center ice. Burakovsky to Green over the Blues line to Bedard. Right circle, shoots! Oh, and it's turned out of there with a blocker save from Hofer. The patented toe drag and wrist shot by Connor Bedard. Meanwhile, back into the Hawk zone. Holloway from the right circle pumps a shot in on goal, and a blocker save made by Knight. Broberg at the left point sends it down to Joseph back of the net around to Holloway along the right half boards. To Joseph right corner, back to Holloway. Holloway in the right circle. Walks the puck in behind the net, fatted out in front to Shanny, shoots! It's turned out of there by Knight. Follow-up shot from Perico from the right circle, and Knight got a piece of that with a stick.
Looked like a power play, John. It was 5-on-5, and a real good job by Dylan Holloway just to control the play, settle things down, and found an open body in front of the net.
Thomas down the right wing into the Hawk zone. Drops it in front, picked off by Connor Bedard. He'll lift it clear to center ice, and the Blues take the puck back now at their blue line. Tyler Tucker handing it off to Justin Falk. Fires the puck off the right corner boards and down behind the Hawk net. Knight out to play it into the corner, but it's on to Neighbors' stick. He shoves off the puck by Vlasic and goes down. Vlasic takes the puck, Put it in front of the Hawk net to Louis Crevier. He pounds it off the near glass and down, and icing's going to be the call here to the Hawks.
Well, tonight's Coaches Challenges are sponsored by Northwestern Medicine, with 8 specialties ranked among the top 10 in the nation by U.S. News and World Report. The teams at Northwestern Medicine offer second opinions for the toughest conditions. And Dylan Holloway, of course, one of those players that General Manager Doug Armstrong picked up a couple of years ago from the Edmonton Oilers. He and Philip Broberg, and boy, those guys have paid dividends. And Holloway having a strong night here tonight for the St. Louis Blues.
Hawks get control off the draw. Crevier with a pass up the left wing for Bedard at center ice. Hits the backhand portion of his blade and bounds over to Justin Falk, who clears down into the Hawk zone. Thomas in the left wing corner. Flips the puck in front for Buchnevich. He misplays it, but the Blues get it back. From the high slot now, Tucker drops it beside the net. Falk shoots, he scores. Well, Justin Falk had committed from the right point down about 5 feet to the right of the Hawk net. He took that pass from Tucker, and he beat Knight on the short side. It's now 3-1 in favor of St. Louis.
That's Justin Falk's 7th goal of the year, which puts him in the top 5 in the entire NHL for defensemen in scoring goals. And that was both defensemen in on that. You mentioned Tucker giving it to Falk, and Falk just had plenty of time. Green trying to come back and check him, and he just found a hole, that little gap between the top of the pad and the glove of Spencer Knight. And Justin Falk, who recently played his 1,000th game in the NHL, restores the 2-goal lead. St. Louis 3, Chicago 1.
Like assistant general manager Norm McIver, Justin Falk, a product of the University of Minnesota at Duluth. Same school as Wyatt Kaiser. So 3-1 Blues. Dvorsky from the Hawk blue line tosses a soft one down and on goal, and Spencer Knight will plop on it and hold it. Whistle will stop play. They'll face it off in the Hawk zone. This will be in the circle to Knight's right.
Now the Blackhawks have to try and find some sustained pressure around Joel Hofer, who has won 2 of his last 3 starts. So he's on a little bit of a roll, but one thing we have noticed are rebounds coming off his body. So if the Blackhawks do get an opportunity, make sure he's shooting the puck, keep it low, keep it out of his glove, and see if he can't get a second and third look.
Bill Nazar will face off with Braden Shen, who wins the draw at the left point. Mayo fires. Bertuzzi blocked that in behind the net. Taken out by the Blues. Holloway, who backs out into the right circle and fires a shot, but it was blocked up into the protective netting by Artyom Levshinov.
Yeah, that's a good block by Levshinov. And, face-offs have been a area of concern in this hockey game against the St. Louis Blues. In fact, St. Louis ended up winning 67% of the draws in period number 1. Yeah. They won 10, they lost 5, and that has kind of carried on into the second period. And let's see what Dickinson can do here.
Dickinson against Oscar Sundqvist. Sundqvist, a big guy. He's like 6'3" at about 235. He's built like a linebacker. Now Hugh McGing will step in and take the draw in Sundqvist's place. And Dickinson wins this faceoff. Murphy collects behind the net. To McCabe along the right boards, back to Murphy beside the net, to Kaiser, Hawk line left wing. Then a pass ahead for Dickinson at the Blues blue line is deflected down to the left wing corner. And Fowler took it away from Teravainen, put the puck behind his net. McGing now between the circles. Mayo clears to center ice, picked off by the Hawks. McKayev sends Dickinson over the line to Teravainen, and he hammers one from the top of the left circle. That's in and out of the glove of the goaltender Hofer. Murphy steps into his man, McGing, at the Hawk blue line. Puck ends up in the left wing corner. Then Murphy got 2 for his money. He rams Matt Luff into the glass from behind. They continue to battle. Kaiser pulls the puck out of the pile. Kaiser from behind the Hawk net. Steps up the left wing side. Flips this one through the air and down ice. And it was through the Blues crease and hit the side of the net and goes below the goal line. Icing's going to be the call here against the Hawks. Yes. I think White was trying to creatively take the pressure off the Hawk zone and get one in on the Blues goaltender so the Hawks can get a line change.
Yeah, it didn't miss by much, but unfortunately they have to stay out, and they've been out there for, I'm going to say, a good 35, 40 seconds. St. Louis changes their 5 guys, so there'll be some fresh skaters out there for the Blues.
Draw one by the Blues. Parayko at the right point now. Hands it off to Buchnevich along the left boards. Tied up by Kaiser. Buchnevich put the puck down to the corner. Dickinson handling it there to Kaiser. Then they get together in the corner. The puck comes free behind the Hawk net to Murphy. Guides it around at the right wing, Ilya Mikheyev. He'll whip it across to Kaiser. Hawk line left wing. Then ahead to Teravainen, short of the Blues blue line, and he'll deflect the puck down in behind the Blues net. Parayko back to collect as the Hawks get a line change. Here's Parayko with a lead pass to Neighbors, Hawk blue line. He deflects it off the glass behind the net. Now loose puck to the near boards. Battling there are Colton Dock and Jake Neighbors. Then Crevier comes along and flattens Buchnevich. And as Vlasic takes the puck out from behind the Hawk net. Vlasic to Sam Lafferty, center ice on the left wing. He unintentionally shot the puck up into the Hawks bench, and a whistle stops play. 9:02 left in the second here in St. Louis. It's 3-1 Blues. This is Blackhawks hockey on 720 WGN.
Hey, it's Nick Foligno. Listen to John Williams weekday mornings at 10 on WGN Radio.
Getting health insurance that fits your budget isn't easy.
At Get Covered Illinois, we are here to help.
We are the state's official health insurance marketplace.
A place where health insurers compete for your business. A website where you can compare multiple health plans and pricing in one place.
And where you can connect to financial help and free in-person assistance.
Because you deserve insurance. GetCoveredIllinois.gov. We're here to help.
Hi, this is Dave Musil, owner of Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. When emergencies happen, who do you call? Broken pipe, power outage, furnace failure, no hot water? The answer is always the same. Call Four Seasons. We guarantee same-day service and installation on all heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs with no extra charge for nights, weekends, or holidays. That's why over 30,000 customers have given us a 5-star Google review.
For all the right reasons, call 866-4 Seasons.
Ellsberg gifts checked off the list. Now, time for wrapping. Earrings for Mom. A gold bracelet to match the rings Danielle wears every day. And for Dad, a new watch, because we all know he needs one. All right, this is going to be a good one.
Our favorite things for your favorite people. Shop in store at Hellsberg.com for up to 50% off.
Hey, Chris Chelios here. It's time to break out the Bandito. El Bandito Yankee Tequila. So smooth, it's criminal. Break out the Bandito, baby.
Who's Hot, Who's Cold is sponsored by Plumbers 911 Chicago, where they do it right the first time. And Who's Hot? How about Connor Murphy? Led the team in time on ice against the New York Rangers. His time on ice was up over 50% from the previous game. Who's not? Well, we heard Charlie Remiliotis talking about the Utah Mammoth.
Yeah.
4 losses in a row, 8 losses in their last 10 games. They have the worst winning percentage since the end of October, 10-28. They are .341 winning percentage since that time.
And they're at home tonight facing the Seattle Kraken. We'll try and keep an eye on that game for our listeners. Matt Grzelcyk back in the Hawk zone near corner, hands it off to Artyom Levshunov. Passing up the right side, Andre Burakovsky, Hawk line. Lead pass for Bedard. He's over the Blues line, top of the left circle. Tried to turn and fire a pass across. This hits a skate and ricochets down to the Hawk blue line. Levshunov back to track it down there. To Burakovsky over the center ice circle. To Grzelcyk over the Blues line, left point. He flings the puck across the rink, bounces out of the right wing corner up the boards. And Bertuzzi sends it back to the right point to Levshunov. He'll fling it down the glass behind the Blues net. Caught by Bedard, left point. Over to Levshunov, right point. To Burakovsky, to Bedard, right circle. One-time shot was blocked on the way through. And Bedard and Schenn battle for the puck in the near corner. And then Broberg takes it off of Schen's stick and clears the puck down ice into the Hawk zone. The Blues and Hawks will make line changes here.
Connor Bedard does have an assist in this game on the lone goal, but St. Louis done a real good job of shadowing him and making sure he doesn't get good looks.
Ryan Green down the right wing to the corner of Blues end. To Donato there. To Murphy, right point. Slings it left point. Kaiser. He walks out and fires, and that deflects up off the crossbar and wide, and it nearly came down and toppled into the Blues net off of Hofer's back. Meanwhile, Ryan Green had the puck in the near circle, coughed it up, Schenn the other way for St. Louis. Slings one wide to the Hawk net, rides up the far boards. Donato's got it. No goals in his last 6. Donato to center ice. Sent the puck off the right wing boards into the Blue zone. Had a play for it for a moment, but had a stick lifted by that of Tucker, and the Blues are back the other way. Holloway to center ice. Flings it off the right side boards in behind the Hawk net to the near corner where Murphy collides with Joseph. Puck comes free to Dvorsky, and from the right wing boards in the Hawk zone, he made a pass back to the point that misses his teammate Fowler and goes all the way down into the Blues end. Fowler back to get the puck to Mayo, center ice. He'll stick it down the right boards into the Hawk zone. Puck circles the net to the near corner. Murphy and Pius-Suter lock up. And then now Dickinson pulls the puck out of the feet of one of the game referees and slips it up the left wing side. No icing is called as Hofer out to play the puck behind the net. Put it around to the near point. Dickinson got it there. To Teravainen right wing corner. To Dickinson back in the net. Put it out to Crevier right point. Down to Teravainen along the right boards. Back to Crevier. He fires and Hofer makes the save. Loose puck in front and the scramble for it. And Hofer puts his glove on top of the puck at the top of the crease and holds on. You had some decent traffic forming in front of the Blues net, but that shot didn't get through.
Yeah, it was a good job, too, by Louis Crevier to walk that puck into the middle of the ice and then get the shot off. And, was stopped by Hofer. And again, kind of a bad rebound coming off his body. Unfortunately, none of the Blackhawks could get to it. And eventually, Hofer covers it up. Joel Hofer, a member of the Swift Current Broncos back in the 2017-18 season when he was goaltending partner with Stuart Skinner, who we just heard from Charlie Emiliotis, traded earlier today to the Pittsburgh Penguins in that Tristan Jarry trade. So Stuart Skinner, who's received I think a lot of unfair criticism playing in Edmonton, finds himself in a new home.
I wouldn't disagree. Swift Current Broncos, by the way, that was the junior club of one Joe Sakic, who went on to a Hall of Fame career. I think the Sutter brothers both played. A couple of them played there, maybe all of them.
Anyway, Lindy Ruff played at Swift Current.
That's correct. Lindy Ruff, head coach of the Buffalo Sabres. Good job, Steve. Matt Grzelcyk to the loose puck along the left boards Hawk zone. Slings it ahead to Bertuzzi, center ice, front of the benches. He shot it across the rink, but one of the Blues' neighbors took it away, and then he enters the Hawk zone, runs into Levshunov, who then pokes it free down ice into the Blues' end. And Philip Broberg will chase it down and carry in behind the Blues net, chased out by Andre Burakovsky. Broberg moving with the puck up the left wing through center ice and over the Hawk line. Drops it off to neighbors along the left board. He'll send it in behind the net around to the far corner. Grzelcyk pokes it to the line, held in by Falk, who fires a shot, and that's redirected wide. Grzelcyk in the far corner. To Bedard, left wing side, Hawk zone. He'll backhand it down ice, and icing is going to be called here against the Hawks. We're down to 5:15 left in the second period, and the Blues have a 3-1 lead.
I mentioned Joel Hofer and a fourth-round pick in 2018 of the St. Louis Blues team. He's had a pretty solid game here tonight. We mentioned earlier he's won 2 of his last 3 games. The one thing that has happened in this hockey game, though, is some ugly rebounds. Pucks either coming out of his glove, off his body, and unfortunately the Blackhawks haven't been able to get to those second and third opportunities. They are out-shooting the St. Louis Blues in this period, 9-7.
All right, the draw to the right of Knight, won by the Blues. Tucker took it at the left point, sweeps the puck down behind the net, cleared away by Levshunov up the left wing side to Bertuzzi, who sends to center ice. Here's Dvorsky back into the Hawk zone down the left wing side and fires a long shot, and that's into the breadbasket of Knight, who just squeezes the puck for the whistle and a stoppage in play. Down to 5 minutes left in period number 2 here in St. Louis. Hawks trail the Blues 3-1. We'll be back after this. This is Blackhawks Hockey on 720 WGN.
What do the Blackhawks and United Airlines have in common? The next generation has arrived, and the future looks bright. New planes are joining the United Airlines fleet every week, decked out with Bluetooth connectivity, screens and power at every seat, and bigger overhead bins to fit everyone's carry-on. Book your next trip on the United app or United.com today. United Airlines, proud to be the official airline of the Chicago Blackhawks.
Officer, can I get your perspective as a man of the law?
You know I'm a mall cop, right?
You see this Hyundai Santa Fe? I only paid for it.
Whoa.
Right? I'm not in trouble, am I?
Deal's so right, it almost feels wrong. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days on all Hyundai Tucson, Tucson Hybrid, Santa Fe, or Santa Fe Hybrid models. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today. Offer ends January 2nd. Call 562-314-4603 for details.
Despite knowing for decades about the hazardous effects of asbestos, large corporations continued to expose workers and their families to asbestos, which had a detrimental effect on workers and their loved ones. For over 2 decades, Vogelzang Law has been actively representing those suffering from mesothelioma and lung cancer as a result of asbestos exposure. Their attorneys will meet you in your home to discuss your asbestos exposure and your potential case. Vogelzang Law, driven to make a difference. Call 312-466-1669 or visit vogelzanglaw.com.
Hey, it's Andrei Burakovsky. We are back. Time for more Blackhawks hockey.
Welcome back to St. Louis, and you might hear the crowd in behind cheering, and they've got Kelly Chase on the Jumbotron here, and it's great to see Kelly at the game, and we'd be remiss, John, if we didn't mention our own Troy Murray, who's fighting his battle against cancer. And Troy, we're thinking about you each and every day. We miss you, and get back here soon.
Absolutely. We love you, bud. Want to see you back here. Face-off circle to the right, Spencer Knight. It's the Four Seasons. Heating, air conditioning, plumbing, and electric face-off. For all the right reasons, call 866-4 Seasons. Nazar facing off with Holloway. Holloway wins the draw. To the high slot to Mayo. He put it down to the right wing corner. Murphy runs into Shen there. Knocked him off the puck. Colton Dock reaching for the puck. Will skewer it off the left wing boards and down. And will this go far enough for icing? No, they're going to waive the icing. Cam Fowler claims the puck behind the Blues net, leaving it for Mayo. He put it along the near boards. Colton Dock is there for the Hawks. Hooks it down to Nazar back in the net, leaving the puck for Lafferty. Lafferty to the left wing corner. He leaves it there in turn for Nazar. To Dock behind the net. Put it around to Murphy along the right board. He in turn leaves it at the right point to Lafferty, who will send the puck off the right corner boards and down behind the Blues net and up the far side. A clever play there by Wyatt Kaiser to body Shen off of the puck, take it away, leave it along the half boards. Doc battling for it, had it knocked off his stick, and now this eludes Kaiser at the point, slides to center ice. Kaiser back to get the puck. Hit it over to Murphy. Murphy is hit by Holloway as he drives the puck down ice into the blue zone. Murphy and Holloway want to get her going. They shake off the Mets at the Hawk blue line. They lock up. They assume the marquee to Queensberry stance. Murphy fires the left. Holloway fires the right and falls down. Murphy grabs him and tags him with the left. And then Holloway swings a right over the top. And the two of them grapple as Murphy falls to the ice.
Well, we haven't seen many fights this year from the Chicago Blackhawks, at least lately. And we see a couple here tonight. And we talked about it in the pregame show with Charlie Remiliotis. There's typically blood between St. Louis and Chicago. And obviously not happy with the way things went in their last game here against Chicago. And Holloway finishes his check. Murphy not happy about it. And boy, he just missed it. Connor Murphy missed with that first left jab. Not by much. Holloway ended up going down, but he did get the takedown at the end of the fight. And another spirited battle here in St. Louis.
Well, Murph didn't like the way he was hit by Holloway. And I think that's what precipitated that. I mean, that along with some frustration. I'm sure Connor's feeling the frustration of trailing the Blues 3-1 at this point in the game.
Well, the other thing Connor Murphy knows, and he's a cagey veteran, sometimes you need a momentum swing. You need a momentum shift, and sometimes it takes a fight. Oh.
Now the loose puck in front of the Blues net off the draw, and Hofer plops on it and holds on. Whistle stopping play.
Jeff Blashill
for the Blues.
Sorry, John. Jeff Blashill doesn't mix up his lines much, but what he has done here, he's put Ryan Donato on that line with Moore and Green. It's actually a brand new line, a new look line. I saw earlier it was Frank Nazar on the fourth line with Colton Dock and Sam Lafferty. So head coach Jeff Blashill just trying to find the right combination to get some more offense.
5 each for fighting, Murphy and Holloway. Meanwhile, Ryan Green at the Hawk blue line with a puck. Yarchim Levshinoff left wing at center ice. Hit as he dumps the puck down behind the Blues net. Ofer swings it around to the near corner to Tucker. Made a pass to center ice, picked off by Ryan Donato. He'll turn and flip it off the inboards in the blue zone. Justin Falk to it, to Tucker back of the net. Sent it around, held in, however, at the right point by Levshinoff. He flings it back down in behind the Blues net. Hofer plays it into the near corner to Tucker, who misses on a pass up ice. This goes down into the Hawk zone, not far enough for icing, but far enough for the Blues and Hawks to get line changes. Grizzly with a lead pass. Dickinson at the Blues line to Teravainen over the line down the left wing side. Slings it back in behind the net, intended for Dickinson, but his stick was lifted off the ice by Thomas, who now has the puck in over the Hawk line, down the right wing to a corner. Flips it behind the net around the left wing side, Neighbors. Neighbors leaving the puck in the circle for Buchnevich. Then Neighbors left corner, a tough angle shot, turned out of there by Spencer Knight. Ilya Mikheyev put the puck to Vlasic at center ice, to Teravainen over the Blues line. To Crevier near the right point. Tried to drop it down beside the net for Dickinson. The pass eludes him. And now Parayko along the right board, Blues end. Passing ahead center ice, Thomas over the Hawk blue line. We get a whistle. This play is offside. 2:31 left in period number 2. 3-1 St. Louis. You look at the face of these Blues players, Steve, on that last rush into the Hawk zone. They're not very happy with this offside call.
Well, it was offside. Buchnevich was straddling the line. I'm not too sure why, but he lifted up his back leg and he puts himself basically offside. It was partial 3-on-2, so they might have been able to get a good look off of it. Instead, as you mentioned, offside, and Jeff Blashill now has Bertuzzi playing alongside of Connor Bedard and Andre Burakovsky.
Draw won by the Blues. Broberg grabs the puck at center ice, dumps it to the left wing corner Hawk zone. Levshunov plays it back up the boards, but not out. Broberg from the point spins it back in behind. Levshunov shot it to the far boards. Parayko picks off the puck, sent it across the rink, and this deflects out near the blue line. Now Schen's got the puck back down to the left wing corner, Hawk in. Schenn fed it through left wing circle. And there to get the puck to the Blues Suter, to Schenn along the left wing half boards. Blues captain spinning away from pressure, then turn the puck over to Andre Burakovsky, who clears to the Hawk blue line. And now Bertuzzi will get it. Rink wide pass Bedard over the Blues line. From the high slot, leaving the puck for Kaiser. Sends it over to the left wing boards. Bedard to Crevier, deep slot. Fired a shot from there. Blocked out high by Joseph. Taken away by Bertuzzi, right corner. Sent it around up the left wing side. And Grzelcyk at the left point. Drops it down in behind the Blues net. Burakovsky is checked there by Parayko. Parayko claims the puck. Skates out the right wing side of the Blues net. And clears the puck down ice into the Hawk zone. Not going to be far enough for icing. But the Blues once again can get a line change. Crevier collects the puck and skates it through center. Full head of steam over the Blues line. Down the left wing. Puck on the backhand. Fires from the corner and stopped by Hofer with the shoulder. And then he puts the glove on top of the puck and holds onto it there. We'll get a whistle and a face-off and the circle to his right.
I don't mind that play by Louis Crevier. He's a good skater. I think an underrated skater for a guy who's 6 feet 8 inches tall. He just took it wide, threw it to the front of the net. And again, the rebound came off of Hofer. He was quick to cover it this time. But Jeff Blashill continues. Well, he's mixed the lines up and he's keeping them the same way. And right now, Frank Nazar on that line, the fourth line.
There's Nazar off the draw, moves into the high slot and fires. That was blocked by Fabry, who goes down. Now from the left point, Grzelcyk sent it down off of Robert Thomas in the far circle. Almost hit him in the head. Puck cleared to center ice now by Fowler. Hawks get it back. Crevier, Hawk blue line. Passing on the right wing, Donato at the Blues blue line. He'll backhand the puck down behind the net. Fowler took the puck back for St. Louis. Passing up the left wing, Robbie Fabry at center ice. He'll dump the puck down behind the Hawk net. Sundqvist is run over by Colton Dock. Grzelcyk to the puck. To Nazar, Hawk line. Little pass over to Donato. To Crevier at center ice on the right wing. He'll sling it down the boards deep into the blue zone. Donato finishing his check in the far corner on Neighbors. And then the puck taken by Robert Thomas to the Blues. He turned it over to the Hawks. Vlasic at the left point will hammer a shot, and then that deflects wide off of Falk. We're down to 15 seconds left in the period. Falk passing ahead to Neighbors. Blues line. He pushes the puck out to center ice. Bedard took it back to Levshunov at center ice on the right wing. Spins it down the board behind the Blues net. Around it goes to the left wing corner as time winds off the clock. 2 periods are in the books here in St. Louis. And the Blues extend their lead to 3-1 after 40. Shots on goal favoring the Blues as well after 40 minutes, 20-17.
Levshunov and Buchnevich having some words at the end of that second period. Good to see Artie Levshunov getting involved a little more physically. I think he plays better when he's physical. I don't think he realizes how strong a man he is. He's just 20 years of age. But the Chicago Blackhawks outscored 1-0 in that period. They did outshoot the St. Louis Blues 11-8 in period number 2. And they've got to try and find some offense here in the third period.
We're looking at a different Joel Hofer here tonight, Steve, than the one we saw in October for sure.
Yeah.
That night I talked about it. He faced 22 shots, gave up 7 goals. He's a much more confident goaltender tonight.
Well, he's a proud guy, and I'm sure he wants to make up for that poor outing that he had here. And I mentioned he has been playing better lately, 2 wins in his last 3 games. That wasn't a pleasant experience for him, giving up 7 goals. So he wanted to come out here, establish himself early. He did. Rebound control, though, still a problem. And the Blackhawks, although they outshot St. Louis in that second period, not a lot of great second and third opportunities.
Well, what's the old saying, Steve? You win the third period, you can win the whole hockey game. That's kind of what the Blackhawks have to do here. They're down by 2 to the St. Louis Blues, so first things first, they got to tie the score and then find a way to forge ahead. With 20 minutes, they're capable of it, but it's not going to be easy against this St. Louis team that can really tighten things up when they take a lead into the third period.
Yeah, they've got that big back end, whether it's Colton Parayko, Justin Falk's not a small man, Logan Mayu, who we've seen score in this hockey game. You mentioned his size. He's 6'3", 215 pounds. Tucker's not a small guy. They've got a lot of big guys back there. It's just tough to get to the front of the net. It's tough to win battles along the boards, and that's something that the Blackhawks try and have to do here in the third period.
Well, we'll find out if they can, but right now we're going to send it back to the station as Charlie Remeliotis is standing by in Blackhawk Central, waiting to give you good folks a full intermission report. I'm not going to describe what's going on down on the ice. It's a little chaotic. And then third period action will follow along. So stick around, folks. 3-1 St. Louis after 2 down here in St. Louis. This is Blackhawks hockey on 720 WGN.
The NHL is officially back, and right now, new FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. Put your first bet in the back of the net on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook and official partner of the Chicago Blackhawks. Must be 21 or older and present in Illinois. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Right now, hockey fans across the city are struggling to fill the fridge. That's why the Salvation Army is here to assist those in need all season long. Our friends at the Salvation Army are seeing unprecedented demand in their communities. The communities they've served for decades, with more people walking through the doors in search of emergency support. Your support this year is more important than ever. Go to the John Williams Kettle at WGNradio.com. Let's help make a difference today.
Cold weather and hockey season go together hand in hand. But your home isn't a hockey rink, and you want it to be the perfect temperature no matter the season. With Mitsubishi electric heating and air conditioning mini split systems, you get the ultimate comfort and efficiency every time, even in those difficult to heat places in your home. Their units are designed to deliver consistent comfort where you need it most. Check out Mitsubishi electric heating and cooling mini split systems today at getacomfyhome.com.
My husband's an animal in bed.
Well,
Not in the fun way. Think warthog. With a chainsaw.
Snoring and sleep apnea affect over 90 million people, and 1 out of 4 couples sleep in separate rooms. Advent can help. We've been your one-stop solution for nasal congestion, snoring, and sleep apnea for over 20 years. Unlike many other practices, we focus exclusively on these conditions, so you get comprehensive care under one roof. Advent's unique approach can help you breathe and sleep better, and many avoid a CPAP. Plus, most insurance is accepted for our effective 20-minute in-office treatments.
Hey, the only animal you want in your bed is your dog.
Advent. Sleep better. Sleep together. Learn how you can improve your life at adventknows.com.
Hey Blackhawks fans, here's a club you'll want to get into. Club Citgo. Download the Club Citgo app now and instantly save 23 cents per gallon on your first fill-up.
Time for a break. It's intermission time.
That's a wrap.
Here's Charlie Remeliotis with your intermission update.
Through 40 minutes in St. Louis, the Blackhawks are trailing the Blues 3-1 going into the third period. It's been a kind of a tight checking game. Not many high-quality scoring chances for either team. bit physical. 2 fights on the night between the Blackhawks and Blues, kind of like the old school rivalry. But yeah, Hawks are trailing by 2 goals, still very much in this hockey game, but they're going to have to throw the kitchen sink at St. Louis in the third period, especially with St. Louis. This is their 5th game in 7 days and the second game of a back-to-back. So let's see if the Hawks can maybe capitalize on some potential tired legs as the game goes on into the third period. Some other scores around the NHL, just one other game on the schedule. The Kraken and Mammoth are squaring off in Utah. It is currently in the first intermission, a 0-0 score. The Utah Mammoth are leading 11-9 in shots on goal. The Kraken are going for their second win in a row after snapping a 6-game winless skid on Wednesday versus LA. The Kraken were 0-5-1 during that stretch. The Mammoth, by the way, got some more clarity on their prized young center Logan Cooley's injury yesterday. And unfortunately for them, it is not great news. He's going to be out at least 8 weeks with a lower body injury, according to GM Bill Armstrong. He's been out since December 5th. So he's still actually Utah's leading scorer with 14 goals. The Mammoth have lost all 3 games in regulation since he's been out. How about some other NHL news today? 3 trades were made. 2 of them were by the Edmonton Oilers that started things off earlier this morning. The Oilers sending goaltender Stuart Skinner, defenseman Brett Kulak, and a 2029 second-round pick to the Pittsburgh Penguins in exchange for goaltender Tristan Jarry and forward Samuel Poulin, the 21st overall pick in 2019. So Edmonton, they've wanted some goaltending help for about 2 years now. They finally change up the mix between the pipes, adding Tristan Jarry, who's been really good for the Penguins this year. No salary retention in the trade. And then the Oilers also acquired defenseman Spencer Stastny from the Nashville Predators in exchange for a third-round pick in 2027 to help fill the void of the Brett Kulak trade, sending him to Pittsburgh. Stastny, by the way, is a Woodbridge, Illinois native. And then how about the trade that went down a couple hours ago that still has the hockey community talking? Quinn Hughes being traded to the Minnesota Wild in exchange for Zeev Buium, Marco Rossi, Liam Ogren, and a first-round pick that is going back to Vancouver in the trade. So you have a Norris Trophy winning defenseman entering the Central Division. Now, how about this? Cale Makar and Quinn Hughes, the 2 best defensemen in the entire NHL, now in the same division. So that is going to be a very interesting spice up. And then some injury news. Let's start in Tampa Bay. The Victor Hedman all-star defenseman is back on injured reserve. He previously missed 12 games with an injury, then returned for 3. Now he's back on the shelf after the team announced this afternoon that he's going to undergo a procedure on his elbow on Monday. The good news is he is expected to return in early February, which would make him available to play for Team Sweden in the Olympics. But obviously, Tampa Bay, that's a tough loss for them. They're going to be without Hedman for a couple of months. And then New York Islanders leading scorer Bo Horvat left last night's game with a lower body injury. He's been ruled day to day. He, of course, is going to be on Team Canada's radar for the Olympics. So sigh of relief for not just the New York Islanders, but also Team Canada as they consider including Bo Horvat on their Olympic roster. Elsewhere in sports, the Chicago Bulls rallied to beat the Hornets 129-126 to snap their 7-game losing streak. Josh Giddey had 26 points and 11 assists to lead the Bulls in the victory. Meanwhile, over in St. Louis, the Blackhawks are down 3-1 to the Blues. Let's take a quick break and we'll break down the second period next. You're listening to Blackhawks Hockey on 720 WGN.
The John Williams Show, weekdays 10 to 2 on the station you trust, WGN.
When your team's best players have all been traded and the latest pick is overrated, just raise a glass with a friend or two and tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do. May your team be great and your picks be true, and if it falls apart, you'll know what to do. Just raise a glass with a fan or two and tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do. It's a crazy world, so what do? You tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do. Hey!
Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, imported by William Grant & Sons, Inc.
That's the sound of the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program, saving you money and energy. With rebates on Energy Star appliances, so you can come back to a home full of savings. Discover more ways to save at ComEd.com/home savings. ComEd, powering lives.
The Mid-America Carpenters Regional Council represents 52,000 hardworking professional men and women across Illinois, Missouri, Kansas, and eastern Iowa who earn the construction industry's best wages and benefits. Their professionally trained and highly skilled members are the elite workforces behind the industrial, commercial, and residential projects you see in your state every day. They build lifelong careers that offer life-changing opportunities. Build your future now. Learn more today at carpentersunion.org. That's carpentersunion.org.
The professionals at Plumbers 911 Chicago are ready to answer your call. They'll get your plumbing job done right the first time. Their phones are open 24/7. 1-833-PLUM-911.
Second intermission at Enterprise Center in St. Louis, and the Blackhawks are trailing the Blues 3-1. It's their second meeting of the season. The Blackhawks picked up a big 8-3 victory in St. Louis the last time these two teams played at Enterprise Center, but as St. Louis set is ahead by 2 goals going into the third period. Time now to take a look at tonight's window of opportunity, sponsored by the state's official health insurance marketplace, Get Covered Illinois. Now's your opportunity to find health insurance that fits your budget at getcoveredillinois.gov. Open enrollment ends on January 15th. We're through 40 minutes of play, and the Blackhawks don't have a single power play yet in this game. We know that, technically St. Louis has not had either. They did score on the 3:41 into the game, or I think it was the Luff goal. It was on a delayed. No, it was the first goal. Yeah, it was Logan Mayhew's first goal of the game. It was on a delayed penalty. So neither team has technically had a power play in this game, but the Blackhawks haven't had one, haven't drawn a minor penalty yet in this game. And so that's why it's been hard for Chicago to generate some sort of offensive momentum, because that's usually the Hawks are one of the top in the NHL in the power play, even though it's been a little bit cold as of late. The Blackhawks, let's see if they can draw some penalties in the third period and maybe provide some sort of spark. How about this? There have been 4 goals in the game. St. Louis obviously has 3 of them, but 3 of the 4 goals have been scored by defensemen in this game. Logan Mayhew, Wyatt Kaiser, and Justin Falk has his 7th goal of the season. Kaiser's 2nd, Mayhew's 1st. And so the back end is contributing for both sides. And the last thing, the Blackhawks did change up some of their lines at the second half of that second period. We saw Bertuzzi, Bedard, Burakovsky together, Green, Donato, Moore. Then the third line stayed the same between Teravainen, Dickinson, Mikheyev, and it was Nazar on that fourth line with Doc and Lafferty. So we'll see if that continues over in the third period, but we know that Jeff Blashill is looking for some sort of spark, kind of bumping up Ryan Donato to that second line, but also he went to Bertuzzi with Bedard and Burakovsky. I believe it was right after the Ryan Green was out there for I think he had like a minute shift, and so Bertuzzi ends up being out there for the Blackhawks. I actually lied. I'm looking at this now. The Blackhawks did have 1 penalty kill in the first period, and it was 10:54 left in the first period. So I digress. Hawks haven't had a single power play in this game. Let's see if they can get one in the third, which is going to start on the other side of the break. You're listening to Blackhawks Hockey on 720 WGN.
It's Bob Surratt. If you follow hockey, you know how important protection is. Protecting the net, the lead, the win. Planning for retirement isn't much different. It's not one decision, it's many. Each one shapes the life you want. How to create reliable income, how much risk to take, when to step away from work, and how to safeguard what you've built. Handling all of that alone can feel like a full-time job. That's why I chose Trajan Wealth. Their fiduciary advisors work with you one-on-one to make the complex feel clear and build a plan that keeps your money working for what's ahead. Your strategy starts with a simple conversation. For a retirement plan you can trust, let Trajan Wealth guide you. Schedule your complimentary review at TrajanWealth.com or visit their offices in Naperville, Park Ridge, or Orland Park. Trajan Wealth, helping protect what you've built. for what comes next.
Advisory services through Trajan Wealth LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Client paid advertisement. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
When you're betting and find yourself constantly thinking about gambling and you're losing more money than you have, are you really winning? If you're spending too much time with the slots or you can't stop betting on sports and you find yourself feeling overwhelmed, maybe lying, and probably losing more money than you can afford to lose, you're not alone and you can get help. It's available 24/7 and it's confidential. When your betting has gotten out of hand, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.areyoureallywinning.com. Sponsored by the Illinois Department of Human Services.
Chicago, the wait is over. Big Ten basketball is back. Your Northwestern Wildcats are off to a hot start in what promises to be another thrilling season at Welsh Ryan Arena. This season features home matchups you won't want to miss against Big Ten foes like Illinois, Michigan, Purdue, and more. Join the journey and don't miss out on one of the most entertaining in-game viewing experiences in all of Chicago sports. Big games, big energy, Big Ten basketball. It's all happening at Welsh Ryan Arena. Visit nusports.com to secure your seat today.
From dull floors to the latest innovations, Lou Manfredini's guest interviews on House Smarts Radio inspire Chicago homeowners. Tune in Saturday, sponsored by Simple Flooring, floors that inspire every step.
It's Andy Mazer. We're your home for the Blackhawks, Northwestern football and basketball, the NFL, and Hampton OB. This is AM 720 WGN Chicago.
It's the final 20. The third period's just ahead. Here's Charlie Remiliotis with your recap.
Blackhawks and Blues are on the ice for the start of the third period. The scoring chances at even strength through 40 minutes of play are 17-14 in favor of St. Louis. So not a crazy discrepancy. The Blackhawks are struggling, though, in the face-off department. They've won just 12 face-offs in the game. They're 12-23, 12 wins, 23 losses. Jason Dickinson has lost 9 of 12, and he's usually really dependable in that area. Frank Nazar has lost 5 of 6, and Connor Bedard has lost 5 of 7. So let's see if the Hawks can turn things around in that department as well and try to start some shifts with the offensive zone possession time after winning the faceoff. What's on Deck is sponsored by TimberTech Decking and Railing, #1 in premium decking. Order free samples at timbertech.com. As I throw it back over to John and Steve, where hopefully they will be calling a multi-goal comeback in this third period.
Your lips to God's ears, Charlie. Thank you very much. Yeah, you're talking about the face-offs. He was talking about the face-offs, Steve. Yeah. The Blues are in the top 5 in team face-off win percentage in the National Hockey League, and most of their centers are above 50%. So you knew coming into the game that puck possession was going to be a little bit of a challenge. And you add to that the Blues' attitude coming into this game. They're going to want to win everything, including all of the face-offs. So the Blackhawks have done their level best to try and get the puck off the draw, but they need to really bear down here.
They do, and let's see if, shaking up the lines, Charlie mentioned it. We talked about it halfway through that second period. Bertuzzi up with Bedard and Burakovsky, and let's see if they can get some sustained offensive time.
Well, Bedard gets it going the right way, wins the draw back into the Hawk zone. Vlasic in front of the net, but a pass ahead intended for Bedard, taken away by Broberg, who is finished with a check in front of the box that separates the two benches. That by Connor Bedard. Broberg shot the puck down into the Hawk zone. Louis Crevier will angle it off the near glass into the Blue zone. Here's Parayko to the puck, passing it up the right wing side to Thomas. Big wide pass now to Broberg, then out to center ice. The Blues on the attack. Here's Joseph down the left wing Hawk zone. Slings a shot toward the net, stroke wide with a stick from Thomas. Justin Falk at the right point. Turn the puck over. Ryan Green collects it there for the Hawks. Green through center ice to the Blues blue line. Will dump it to the left wing corner in the St. Louis zone. Tucker, the defenseman, put it back up the near boards. And this slides to center ice. The Hawks now take it back. Leshchenov firing it off the glass down behind the Blues net. Falk collects the puck, put it over to Tucker, left wing side Blues blue line. He sent the puck across the rink to Joseph, and he'll send it down in behind the Hawk net. Leshchenov took it away there from Schenn. Leshchenov moving with the puck up the right wing to the Blues blue line, where he fires the puck down the boards into the Blue zone. Slides around to the near side. Ryan Green put it all over in front of Oliver Moore, who fired just wide. He was all alone in front of the net. Grzelcyk now fires from the left point. And that's stopped by the goaltender Hofer with the glove as Oliver Moore and Justin Falk poke at one another. Actually, Matthew Joseph poke at one another. And the linesmen are there to intervene.
Well, St. Louis wanted to get a lot tougher in front of their own net, and it was Tucker who was giving Oliver Moore a rough ride. Good scoring opportunity for the Blackhawks. What a pass by Ryan Green, who, remember, scored his first ever NHL goal here in St. Louis back in mid-October, and Oliver Moore with an excellent opportunity. I don't know whether Hofer got a piece of that or not, John, but it was a great feed from Ryan Green, who had been out there for almost a minute and a half, so the end of his shift, but a real smart play from the youngster.
And that game in October sees 7 different Blackhawks beat Hofer for goals. Lucas Reichel had a pair. Now back inside the blue zone, Mikheyev from the left wing corner tries to center the puck, picked off by the Blues. Dalibor Dvorsky will carry it out to center ice and lift the puck down in behind the Hawk net, where Wyatt Kaiser took it away. He banks a pass up the left wing. Ilya Mikheyev over the Blues line. Drop pass left point, Teravainen. Now to Mikheyev, back to Teravainen again, back to Mikheyev. He had the stick lifted by Fabry, who pushes the puck to center ice, and the Hawks get it back. Here's a pass now to Mikheyev over the Blues line, down the left wing. A little stop and start action in behind the net. Tried to send to the puck. Instead, Mayo got a stick on it, knocking it away to the far corner. And Mayo moving the puck out to Fabry. Ahead to Pius Suter. Now to center ice on the left wing. Matt Luff into the Hawk zone. Stopping top of the circle. Hits the trailer. McGing will fire. And that's into the breadbasket of Spencer Knight, who holds on.
McGing was wide open. Frank Nazar coming back hard. Fell on the play. Blackhawks had plenty of guys back. Almost too many men back. And Frank Nazar just blows a tire. Falls into the corner. And McGing, who scored his first ever NHL goal last night in Nashville, gets a good look on Spencer Knight. It's been a tough couple of weeks for Frank Nazar, the rookie, and right now finding himself on the fourth line. He's just got to find a scoring touch, and that's the message Jeff Blashill sending to him. It's, you know what, it's great playing defense, and you got to be scoring, and if you can't score, we can't keep you on the second line.
Draw one by the Hawks. Here's Kaiser now flinging the puck to center ice. Lafferty hands off to Colton Dock. He's over the Blues line down the right wing side and fires one in on goal, and a blocker save made by Hofer. And McGing in the near corner. Sticks the puck behind the St. Louis net. Broberg will lift it around at the left wing. Luff deflects it to center ice. Hawks get it back. Lafferty at the St. Louis line on the left wing. Flips the puck down behind the net. Hofer plays it up the far side to Broberg, who clears to center ice. Connor Murphy to the puck. Will hand it ahead to Colton Dock. He tried to backhand the puck into the blue zone. That hit Buchnevich of the Blues, who slings the puck back into his own end. And then Broberg missing on a pass on the near side for Parayko. Puck ends up at center ice. Hawks get it back. Here's Burakovsky into the blue zone. Right point to Levshunov, deep slot. He made a pass back to the point, but nobody there except for a Blue. Jake Neighbors into the Hawk zone. Drops the puck off, but no teammates are there. And here's Bertuzzi the other way for the Hawks. Bertuzzi at center ice on the left wing. He actually steps on the puck. Tried to kick it ahead for Burakovsky. We get a whistle stopping play. And let's see what we have here.
They said high stick, so maybe the puck was played with a high stick.
I thought we might get a high sticking penalty here, but you're checking Jake Neighbors' face. Let's see what we got. Justin Kia, one of the game referees. They're going to face it off over the center ice face-off, Dodd. Okay. Here is Thomas facing off against Bedard, and Thomas wins this draw. The Blues get possession. Cam Fowler, who played his 1,000th NHL game at Wrigley Field against the Blackhawks last December 31st and scored a pair of goals. Lifts the puck down into the Hawk end. Grzelcyk over to Bertuzzi, who clears it all the way down, and icing's going to be called here against the Hawks.
If memory serves me, Fowler started the season with Anaheim, correct? And then he got to St. Louis, and shortly thereafter played in that 1,000th game, as you mentioned, was at Wrigley Field. And boy, what a special game it was for him. He had plenty of family there, and he scores a couple of important goals.
And he was drafted, by the way, in the Crypto.com arena, which was then known as Staples Center. And Steve, I don't think in my life, I don't think I've ever heard a draft pick be booed. And Cam Fowler was selected first by the Anaheim Ducks, of course, the crosstown rival of the LA Kings. And as the announcement was made, they had the camera on Cam Fowler, who is just a kid coming out of junior, and he hears the crowd booing him. It's like, come on, what did I do? But he ended up having a pretty solid career with Anaheim, and now here with St. Louis. Here's Buchnevich into the Hawk zone to the high slot. Let go a shot, and it goes over the net, bounces off the glass and back over the net. Holloway follows up with a shot from the left circle. That's turned away.
Buchnevich has had a real good game for the St. Louis Blues, Johnny. He's determined out there. He's getting to the front of the net. He's being physical.
Here's Donato weaving down the left wing side into the Blues zone through several Blues players. He flips the puck toward the net. It ends up going in behind. Now Shen for the Blues clears down to the Hawk blue line. Big Louis Crevier back to get the puck. Got it ahead. Ryan Green at center ice to Oliver Moore, Blues line left wing. He toe drags it over the line, then back to center ice. Hawks end up taking the puck back as Donato flings it down the right side boards and in behind the Blues net. Hofer stopping the puck there, put it to the corner. Oliver Moore took it away for the Hawks. Tried to center the puck, was picked off by the Blues. Shen back through center ice with the puck. Over the Hawk line to the right point. Sticks it down toward the corner. Vlasic intercepts. Put it ahead up the left wing to Donato, who clears the puck across the rink and down into the Blues zone. The Hawks will now make a line change. Here's Logan Mayo for the Blues, moving up the right wing at center ice. Turns away from a check from Dickinson. Fires the puck down the boards into the Hawk zone, around to the far corner. Ilya Mikheyev plays it up the right wing to Teuvo Teravainen. Then Alex Vlasic joining the rush. He's into the Blues zone and fires from the left point. That's over the net up off the glass. Dickinson, however, takes the puck away right wing corner, carrying up the boards toward the point. Slings it down in behind the Blues net. Hofer is out to play it around the glass and back down to the Hawk blue line. And Matt Grzelcyk back to collect it there. Grzelcyk to Levshunov, left wing center ice. Fires it diagonally off the right corner boards in the Blues zone. Matt Luff sticks it around behind the net out to the left point. Held in by Grzelcyk. He'll fire it down in behind the Blues net again, around to the right wing corner to Burakovsky. To Ilya Mikheyev coming by. Burakovsky went down, back on his feet, got it to Grzelcyk, high slot. Grzelcyk holding. To Levshunov left point, pounds a shot, and a good block there by McGing of the Blues. Levshunov got it back at the point, but could not fire it on goal, and the puck tumbles to center ice.
Yeah, McGing playing like the Energizer Bunny out there. A great shot block there earlier, doing a good job in his own zone on coverage and on breakouts, and he's been a breath of fresh air here for the Blues.
Here's Bertuzzi firing for the left wing side of the Blues zone. That goes through the top of the crease and wide. Vlasic now fires one for the left point. That was blocked on the way through. Broberg of the Blues laying the puck up the right wing to Buchnevich. Head to Thomas. Crossing the Hawk line right point where he stops. But sticks the puck down to the right wing corner. Crevier takes his man Neighbors off the puck so Bertuzzi could collect. Put it ahead to Crevier over the Blues line down the left wing. Skates it past another big guy in Parayko. Carries down behind the net. Puck comes around out to the right point. Crevier had fallen down. The puck bleeds out to center ice. And Wyatt Kaiser back to get it in the Hawk zone.
Now, I'd like to see the D for the Chicago Blackhawks get a little more involved. We saw it there with Crevier trying to get to the outside. Parayko doing a good job of getting the puck off his stick, but I'd like to see the defenseman joining the rush a little more often.
Now Lafferty checked in behind the Blues net by Parayko. Puck comes free up the slot area, and Luff is there to get it for St. Louis. He'll clear it off the right side boards into the Hawk zone. Connor Murphy tracking it down to the corner to Wyatt Kaiser. For Colton Dock in the near corner. He'll put the puck in behind the Hawk net. Kaiser there. Passing up the right side, Lafferty center ice. Rink-wide pass, Colton Dock over the Blues line. Down the left wing, drives to the net and fires! And that was stopped by Hofer. I thought that might have leaked through him and into the back of the Blues net, but somehow he kept it ahead of the goal line and pins it to the paint of the crease. 3-1 St. Louis with 12:08 left in period number 3 here in St. Louis. This is Blackhawks hockey on 720 WGN.
Getting health insurance that fits your budget isn't easy.
At Get Covered Illinois, we are here to help.
We are the state's official health insurance marketplace.
A place where health insurers compete for your business. A website where you can compare multiple health plans and pricing in one place.
And where you can connect to financial help and free in-person assistance.
Because you deserve insurance. GetCoveredIllinois.gov. We're here to help.
Hey, Jeremy Roenick here. You know, I played in an era that was tough, gritty, old school. But I got major respect for the next generation of hockey. The speed, the skill, the precision. That's what I see in Flight by Yuengling. It's brewed by the oldest brewery in America, but built for today. 2.6 carbs, 95 calories, clean, crisp, real beer flavor without the heaviness. This is the light beer that keeps up with the modern game. Flight by Yuengling, the next generation of light beer. DT Yuengling & Son, Pottsville, PA.
Hey, Chicago fans, when the game's on the line, there's no time to waste. Same goes for selling your house. At Jeff Buys Your House, we make it fast, easy, and stress-free. No drawn-out showings, no waiting for months on the market. Just a fair cash offer from a veteran-owned company that puts people first. Don't let the clock run out. Choose the trusted source. Visit jeffbuysyourhouse.com and score your easy offer today.
Hey Blackhawks fans, it's Spencer Knight. Game on. It's time for Blackhawks hockey.
Game on indeed, Spencer. Back to St. Louis, John Weideman along with Steve Conroy here for Chicago Blackhawks hockey. 3-1 St. Louis with 12:08 left in period number 3. Hawks missing their captain, Nick Foligno. I understand he's on the mend and he's improving. And let's hope that Nick can rejoin the lineup real soon, Steve. And with Nick Foligno in the lineup, by the way, the Blackhawks record 9-5-4. Without him coming into this game, they're 4-6-2. So to me, that's a real inspirational leader that might be missing from this group right now.
That's pretty telling. You know, those numbers kind of tell the story. And Nick, he brings some offense, but that's not what he's known for. He's just a gritty hockey player. He leads by example, whether it's on the ice, in the dressing room, in practice. And he holds everyone accountable. And not that they haven't been accountable, but when you can add a guy like Nick Foligno, it just helps your team so much.
Well, let's hope that he gets well soon and gets back in the lineup. Knowing Nick, he's just dying to get back in. Here's Thomas at center ice with the puck, flings it through the air and down in on Spencer Knight, who uses his blocker to knock it away to the corner. Blues get it back. A shot from Boberg from the left point is into the glove of Spencer Knight, and he'll hold it. Get a whistle stopping play. That's the 24th shot on goal for the Blues. Face-off circle to Knight's right.
Yeah, just the 4th shot in this period. And the Blackhawks actually outshooting the St. Louis Blues in this 3rd period so far, 6-3. Quick change there by head coach Jeff Blashill. Not crazy about having the Connor Bedard out there against Braden Shen with a defensive faceoff, and Ryan Green comes out and wins it.
Reconfigured line there for the Hawks. Steve, you were talking about this a while ago. We got Ryan Green along with Nazar and Oliver Moore. Tons of speed on that line, but we'll just have to see how effective they can be here.
This is a new one. I haven't seen this trio yet, but boy, a lot of speed, as you mentioned. Both Nazar and Oliver Moore speedsters, and Ryan Green ain't too shabby either.
Back in the blue zone in the near corner. Fowler sticks the puck behind the net to the far corner where Crevier collides with Holloway. Vlasic now takes a pass left point and fires. And that hit Nazar cruising through the slot. Puck tumbles to the left wing corner where Nazar finished his check on Fowler. Green takes the puck at the top of the left circle and rifles one over the net. Holloway in the far corner. Scrapes the puck up the boards. Picked off by Moore of the Hawks. He'll spin it down in behind the net again. And Fowler there to send it around at the left wing side to Holloway, who clears to center ice. Crevier stepping up at the Blues blue line will chop it down ice beside the Blues net, and the teams make line changes.
Yeah, that was a good forechecking shift by that new configured line. And you mentioned the speed, and that's part of the reason they are able to hem St. Louis in their own zone.
Now the puck shot in from center ice, that by Robbie Fabry. It hits the shelf that separates the boards and glass and bounds through the air and down by the Hawk net. And it looked like Spencer Knight looked like an outfielder catching a fly ball with a basket catch there. He holds on.
Can of corn, right?
Can of corn. Thank you. Face-off circle to Knight's right. I like that baseball euphemism.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It was the right decision by Spencer Knight, because by the time he grabbed that, if he'd put it at his feet to try and play it, I think he would have had a St. Louis Blue player right in his pocket. So he just elected to get the draw, and hopefully his team can win a faceoff.
Bedard against Thomas. Thomas wins this draw to the left point. Broberg, he whips it right point. Parayko put it down the boards for Buchnevich, who tried to fire from the point. That was blocked. Buchnevich got it back to the right circle. Neighbors walks in front. Deeks and couldn't get a clean shot away. One too many Deeks. He left the puck next to the post. And Spencer Knight, who had been kind of deked out of position on the play, went down, and then he reaches out with his glove hand and at the last second pulls the puck.
Good
man,
job,
that was so close.
It was really close, and that's the patience of a scorer there. Tyler Bertuzzi, I think, had something to say about it. He came back hard with his stick, made sure that Neighbors wasn't able to pull the alley-oop slam dunk into the empty cage.
Yeah, an outstanding play there by Bertuzzi defensively. Kaiser now leads the Hawks rush to center ice after the Hawks win the draw. Kaiser into the blue zone, works his way to the right wing corner, then pushed off the puck there by Tucker. And then Mikheyev took it away from behind the net, spins it out to the right point. Teravainen could not hold the puck in the blue zone. He reclaims it at center ice, pulls out the 60-degree wedge and lifts it through the air and down toward the Blues crease. Hofer sends it away with a blocker. Falk to center ice for the Blues. Got a pass ahead for Dalibor Dvorsky at the Hawk blue line. This deflects down behind the Hawk net. The Hawks get possession. Kaiser with a lead pass up the left wing for Dickinson at center ice. He redirects the puck down behind the Blues net. Hofer plays it around up the left wing side. And here's Hugh McGinn carrying through center ice. He's over the Hawk line of the right wing. Hands it off to Sundqvist, who fires. And that hit the far post. Loose puck out up the right wing side to Teravainen. He lifts it to the Blues blue line. And Parayko with a pass into the Hawk zone for McGinn. He got ahead of the puck at the Hawk line as the puck came across. The Blues are offside. We're down to 9:15 left in the third. 3-1 in favor of St. Louis. This is Blackhawks hockey on 720 WGN.
It's Bob Surratt, weekday morning starting at 6. Don't go away. This is Blackhawks hockey.
When I got sick, I spent years looking for answers. But it only took one conversation with my team at Northwestern Medicine to correct my misdiagnosis. I am Daniel, and I have Parkinson's disease. No other hospital has spoken to me in Spanish before. So, when my new care team did, they didn't just change the conversation, they changed my life.
The Northwestern Medicine Parkinson's Disease and Movement Disorders Center offers specialized, culturally sensitive care. Their Spanish-speaking team was the first to provide Daniel and other Spanish speakers like him with answers and innovative treatment in the language he preferred.
When Parkinson's changed my life, so did my Spanish-speaking care team.
At Northwestern Medicine, personalized care means recognizing cultural differences. Because what makes us better makes you better. Learn more at nm.org/Parkinson.
Ellsberg gifts checked off the list. Now, time for wrapping. Earrings for Mom. A gold bracelet to match the rings Danielle wears every day. And for Dad, a new watch, because we all know he needs one. All right, this is going to be a good one.
Our favorite things for your favorite people. Shop in store at Hellsberg.com for up to 50% off.
Hey, Chris Chelios here. It's time to break out the Bandito. El Bandito Yankee Tequila. So smooth, it's criminal. Break out the Bandito, baby.
Well, we're hoping to, Shelley. John Whiteman along with Steve Conroy here for Blackhawks hockey. Coming up, it's the Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric Face-Off. For all the right reasons, call 866-4Seasons. Folks, if your furnace is not working well, call Dave. You'll get a crew out there. It's going to get cold in the Chicago area, folks, so please take my word and give Dave a call if you need some service on your furnace. You do a great job. Here's Donato into the blue zone to the top of the right circle. Holding the puck back to the point. He fires. That goes just wide. Good screen in front by Doc. And now Nazar fires from the left wing boards, and that tumbles just wide of the Blues net on a deflection.
Colton Doc knocked down in front of the net. No call. Blackhawks still haven't had a power play in this game.
Joseph into the blue zone. Joseph into the Hawk zone for the Blues. Put the puck down to the corner. Rides around to the left point now. And Tyler Tucker flips it behind the Hawk net. Around it goes to Donato along the near boards. Put it over to Nazar. Right wing at center ice, front of the benches. Near the end of his shift, he'll toss the puck slowly to the right wing corner in the St. Louis zone. The Blues make a line change, as do the Hawks. And you hear the chant in the background, "Let's go Blues." Things have kind of quieted down here for a little while. Parayko now to center ice. Fires a long high one down the right wing side into the Hawk zone. This circles the net and ends up on the far side. Burakovsky's got it for the Hawks. Head to Bedard over the Blues line right wing. Put it across the rink. Here's Burakovsky in front. He fires just wide. Burakovsky to the puck along the right board. Had it stripped off his stick by Thomas of the Blues. Head to Buchnevich at center ice. Sticks a pass ahead for Neighbors into the Hawk zone, but this rolls off his stick. Hawks get it back. Green will now hand the puck off to Connor Bedard. Breaking back through center ice over the Blues line on the left wing. He backhands the puck down behind the net. Hofer out the plate into the near corner. Parayko hit. Green took it away to Crevier. Right circle. Closes in. Fires. He hit the post. Loose puck at the left point. Vlasic there. Back to Crevier again. Bombs away from there. And a butterfly save made by Hofer. And then the puck taken in the far corner by Neighbors. He'll clear it all the way down. And icing will be the call here against St. Louis.
Two really good shots by Alex Crevier. John, you pointed out he put one maybe off the crossbar. Not too sure if it was the post or the crossbar. Remember in his last game, he scored the game-winning shorthanded goal, the first goal of the hockey game. It's the first time a Chicago Blackhawk has scored a shorthanded game-winning goal as a D-man since Boris Mironov back in March of 2000. Was that the crossbar or the post?
It hit the post, and Steve, before it did, it hit the knob of Hofer's stick.
Oh.
Wow, how
maybe
about
that,
it?
Maybe that kept it out.
Now the face-off won by the Blues. Puck brought to center ice up the far side by Neighbors, who ran into Crevier, who forces a loose puck. Then Logan Mayo took it back over the center ice circle. He backhands the puck down behind the Hawk net. And Vlasic will pick it up and carry. Vlasic with a pass up the right wing for Nazar, way past him into the blue zone. Cleared to center ice by Fowler. Nazar now takes it away front of the Blues bench, steps into the blue zone, gave it to Moore. Tried to hand it off to Bertuzzi down the slot. Mayo broke that up and then falls over Nazar in the near corner with a check. With the Blues clear their end. Fowler moving ahead at center ice to Suter. He got it now to Dvorsky over the Hawk line down the right wing side. He backhands it down behind the net to the far corner. Murphy is able to take it away, get the puck to Wyatt Kaiser. He'll lead the Hawk rush to center ice as the Hawks are in the midst of a change. Kaiser just flings the puck down to the left wing corner in the Blues end. And Mayo sticks it behind the net. Mikheyev took the puck away, hands it off to Dickinson, right circle. He'll fire, and that deflects wide. Hawks putting on a little pressure here. Here now, Mikheyev in the right wing corner. He's hit from behind. Looked like Fabry chopped him there. No penalty call. Dickinson from center ice back into the blue zone to Teravainen along the left boards. Slings a shot that goes in front of the net and wide. Dickinson again from the right circle will fire, and Hofer's down with a butterfly save and holds on. All right, we're down to 5:57 left in period number 3 in St. Louis. Hawks needing to catch the Blues. They trail by a pair. Can they tie it up and send it to overtime? Stick around and find out. 3-1 Blues with 5:57 left. This is Blackhawks hockey on 720 WGN.
Hey, Chicago Blackhawks fans! I know you'd do anything for a win on game day and an ice-cold Bud Light. Because whether you're tailgating in the parking lot or parked on the couch, sitting on your lucky stool at the bar, or standing in the fan section all game long, a win isn't a win without the clean, crisp taste of Bud Light. And there's nothing easier to enjoy than that. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
To 15-year-old Harper, buying an $80 vintage rock t-shirt is a great investment. To Harper's mom, this logic has a few holes in it. So she helped Harper open a Wells Fargo Clear Access banking account. With no overdraft fees and tools to track spending, Harper's learning, one heavy metal tee at a time. However you make money work, Wells Fargo can work with that.
Terms apply. Visit wellsfargo.com/deposit disclosures for fees and details.
Hey, hockey fans, it's Troy Murray. If you're ready to upgrade your outdoor living space, look no further than TimberTech Decking and Railing, the #1 premium composite decking brand, tough enough to handle anything. It looks like real wood, but without the costly maintenance of a wood deck. It won't rot, warp, splinter, or peel, ever. And it's backed by industrial-leading warranties, so your deck will last year after year after year. Connect with a local contractor or order free samples at timbertech.com to see the TimberTech difference for yourself. TimberTech, everything wood should be.
Hey, it's Nick Foligno. You're locked in for Blackhawks hockey on WGN Radio.
Thanks, Nick. Less than 6 minutes to go here in St. Louis. The Blues hold a 3-1 lead over the Chicago Blackhawks. And boy, the last 2 times Ilya Mikheyev has been on the ice, things have been happening in the offensive zone. He's great at anticipating, breaking up breakouts, and forcing some turnovers. As a matter of fact, the Blackhawks hold a 10-3 lead in shots in this third period.
Yeah. He's been around the Blues net quite a bit. Don't forget the Blackhawks are back home tomorrow night to take on the Detroit Red Wings. Come join us. If you don't have tickets, if you can get some, come on down. Should be a great hockey game. Now Connor Bedard with a puck, put it in front. Burakovsky shoots, he scores! Connor Bedard, it looked to me, Steve, like he was trying to handle the puck and maybe deke Hofer away. and maybe dished it off. It looked like the puck rolled off the end of his stick, but right to Burakovsky. Johnny on the spot, put her home. It's now 3-2 in favor of St. Louis.
Yeah, and with that goal, it's time to break out the Bandito, celebrate every goal this season with El Bandito Yankee Tequila. And I think the key was the fact that Bedard got there first. And as he tried to kick it to his stick, it went a little farther off his stick and right to the stick of Burakovsky, who was in the right place at the right time. Even though he was jammed on the play, he was able to get his backhand on it. Bedard did a real good job getting away from Broberg, who was trying to box him out from getting to that puck. But Bedard now with 2 assists. He's an assist on both of the goals. Has got them to within 1, and the Blackhawks right back in this hockey game.
So it's Burakovsky's eighth goal on the season from Bedard at 14:08. This makes things very, very interesting now. And again, Connor Bedard finishing a check, this time on Jake Neighbors in front of the Hawks bench. Neighbors turned around and gave him a look. Keep an eye on that situation. Meanwhile, Burakovsky to Bedard over the Blues line down the right wing, turning in the right circle. Sends it over to Grzelcyk left point. He'll slap it down behind the Blues net around to Burakovsky in the right wing corner. Neighbors tries to press him into the boards. Bedard tried to go over and offer some assistance. He was interfered with by Broberg. And now Neighbors and Bedard get together right at the Blues blue line, jockeying one another, and now in front of the Blues bench, and they all gather over there. And Burakovsky being kind of wrestled away by Robert Thomas. Andre Burakovsky, probably not a great fighter, I would think. He's more of a skilled player, but Connor Bedard seems very willing to engage Jake Neighbors. Both of them played in the Western Hockey League. And I don't think you want to see Connor Bedard involved in a fight. But it seems like he's very willing, Steve. It looks like he's actually trying to agitate Neighbors.
Well, you pointed it out earlier. It was a big hit by Bedard that knocked down Neighbors. That happened maybe 30 seconds prior. But then it was Broberg who was being really hard on Bedard. Bedard didn't like it. And unfortunately, he's heading to the penalty box. So here's the call.
St. Louis 63, minor penalty for roughing. Well, they each receive roughing minors. Penalty at 14:54, period number 3.
Well, you'd love to have Connor Bedard out on the ice. We will see 4-on-4 hockey, though, so that might be an advantage to the Blackhawks. A little extra ice out there, a little extra room. And Connor Bedard has energized his bench, energized the Blackhawk fans here in St. Louis, and who knows? You get the couple of defensemen out there who can skate in Vlasic and Crevier. Maybe they can join the rush. We'll be joined by Nazar and Oliver Moore up front, 2 of the fastest forwards the Blackhawks have, so this could get interesting.
All right, face-off just outside the Hawk blue line at center ice. And the puck comes free. Fowler took it away for the Blues. Back to Justin Falk in the Blues zone. And for the Blues, it's Robert Thomas, Pavel Buchnevich, Cam Fowler, and Justin Falk. For the Hawks, it's Frank Nazar along with Oliver Moore and Alex Vlasic along with Louis Crevier. So here's Nazar winding it up in the Hawk zone. He'll carry to center ice. Over the Blues line. Gave it to Crevier down the right wing side. He fires a shot that deflects off Fowler's stick and up into the netting. So whistle stabs play. They'll keep the face off in the blue zone in the circle to Hofer's left.
That was a good stick by Fowler. And just as expected, Crevier trying to join that rush. If he gets that on net, you got Frank Nazar heading hard to the net. And Frank Nazar, since being dropped down to the 4th line, the last few shifts, he's really brought himself back into this hockey game, back into the good books of the coaching staff, and getting some good looks.
Louis Crevier, I've mentioned several times on these airwaves, a 7th-round draft pick by the Blackhawks. He finished his junior career, by the way, playing for Patrick Roy with the Quebec Remparts. Yeah.
I'm sure he learned a lot about being a professional through Patrick.
Patrick now the head coach of the New York Islanders. Face-off won by the Blues. Braco takes the puck behind the Blues net, stops, leaves it for Braden Shen. He'll skate it through center ice and over the Hawk line on the right wing. Pushed off the puck by Grzelcyk. Hawks get it back and attack. 4-on-2. Here they come up ice. Green into the blue zone. Flips it down the left wing side. Intended for Burakovsky. He was late getting there. Braco took the puck away instead for the Blues. We're down to 1:04 left on the matching minors. Parayko skates the puck out of the blue zone through center ice and over the Hawk blue line. Takes a long shot in and out of the glove of Knight. Green takes the puck in front of the net, lifts it out to center ice. It's a bouncing puck claimed by Ryan Donato. Into the blue zone. Donato from the left circle fires, and that was blocked by Hofer. Broberg in the near corner for the Blues. Moving it up the boards to the line, collected by Alex Vlasic. He turns away from Holloway of the Blues. Vlasic leads the rush into the blue zone. Drops it top of the right circle. Donato tried to center the puck, picked off by the Blues. Hughes Suter back the other way into the Hawk zone left wing side. Now to Matthew Joseph left circle. Tries to fight off a check. Lost the puck down behind the Hawk net. Spencer Knight out to play it away to the near corner to Wyatt Kaiser. Kaiser flips the puck back in behind the net. Vlasic's got it with 14 seconds left in the matching minor situation. There's Vlasic holding the puck, waiting for the penalty boxes to empty. 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2. Teams come back to full strength. Nazar takes a pass out to center ice, then over the Blues line down the right wing. Shot it across behind the net around to Teravainen left point. There goes Spencer Knight to the Hawks bench. Hawks going to go with 6 attackers and an empty net. Justin Falk takes the puck away, blue zone. Banks it up the right side for Suter. This was off his stick and down into the Hawks zone. And Knight had returned to the Hawks crease to stop that puck, else it would have gone right into the empty net. He hands it in behind to Levshunov. Passing ahead now, Nazar into the blue zone. Put it to the right wing side, but picked off by Thomas of the Blues. Knight can't get to the bench. 2:30 left in the period. Now here's Holloway down the right side, cuts down the slot and fires a backhander off the post. Thomas got the puck back behind the Hawk net. To Holloway along the right boards to Parayko high slot. Long shot from there, punched away with a blocker save. Broberg fires a shot from the left point. That never got through. Now Kaiser dishes up the far sideboards intended for Nazar. He was beaten to the puck at the point by Broberg, who flips it down in front of the Hawk net. And Connor Bedard will pick it up and carry. 2 minutes left in the third. Hawks trail 3-2. Now Knight gets to the bench. As Bedard flings the puck down into the blue zone, around it goes to the near side. Shen to Hughes Suter at the Blues line. Hands it ahead to Broberg, who sent it ahead for Sundqvist at the Hawk line, but it's off his stick down to the right wing corner in the Hawk zone, and Bertuzzi will carry to center ice. Knocked off stride. Suter takes the puck, tries to drive it toward the Hawk net, blocked by Colton Dock at the Hawk blue line. Puck tumbles into the blue zone. Blues get it back. It's cleared to center ice by Sundqvist. Here's Shen from the Hawk blue line firing a shot, and that's stopped by Artyom Levshunov. Levshunov passing up the right side. Ryan Donato center ice. Flings it down in behind the Blues net. Hofer out to stop it for Fowler, who clears it around, and Doc at the Blues blue line sent it down to the Hawk blue line. Levshunov kept it away and rode Buchnevich into the boards. Loose puck taken away by Burakovsky. Slings it across the rink. Colton Dock in the far corner in the Hawk zone has the puck with 1:05 on the clock. Dock to Burakovsky to center ice. Burakovsky lifts the puck into the blue zone. It's off Parayko's skate. Connor Bedard took it along the right board. Feeds the deep slot for Grzelcyk, but it's off his stick to center ice, and the Hawks have to regroup. We're down to 48 seconds left in regulation. Nazar dumping it down the right boards in behind the Blues net. Hofer plays it over to the far corner. And it's lifted to center ice. Here, Holloway into the Hawk zone, right circle. Deeks in front, and an unwise move as Grzelcyk poke checks the puck away to Donato. To Teravainen over the Blues line down the right wing. He put it in front of the net, picked off by Parayko, and he'll backhand it down ice into the Hawk zone. Down to 20 seconds left in regulation.
Good play by Parayko on the backhand. It's not an icing. They get a full change.
Green takes a handoff at center ice to the Blues blue line, where he flings it off the right wing boards and down behind the net. Hofer plays it into the far corner. Broberg moves it up the boards. Taken away by the Blues and cleared down ice by Suter. This goes wide of the Hawks' empty net, but time is almost off the clock anyway. Icing is going to be the call against the Blues with 0.3 seconds left on the clock for regulation.
I wonder if they'll take a look at this and deem when the whistle went, possibly put a little time on the clock. 0.3 is literally impossible to try and win a draw and get a shot. So wisely, Jeff Blashill has called his timeout, and they have put a half a second on. Yes, thanks, John. So it's 0.8 seconds. That is doable, but it's got to be a one draw and a shot right away.
It's got to be a bang-bang play, basically.
Yeah. And it's unfortunate. The Blackhawks really weren't able to set up in the blue zone with the goalie on the bench for the extra attacker. They did dodge a couple of bullets, though, because St. Louis did have some looks at the empty net, weren't able to get it on the cage. And as a result, after that icing, Blackhawks one more opportunity to possibly win a draw, get a shot. Mike Vellucci, head coach for the Chicago Blackhawks, barking out some instructions to the 6 players on the ice.
Mike with the dry erase board at the bench. He's diagrammed a specific play. We'll see if the Hawks can execute it to perfection and light the lamp before the end of regulation. As I said, it's got to be a bang-bang type of play. Connor Bedard will take the draw against Braden Shen. Circle to the left of Hofer. Bedard has Levshunov lined up directly behind him for the draw. He's got to win it cleanly to Levshunov. So here we go. Face off to the left of Hofer, and Shen just bull rushes Bedard off the dot. He hit him with a cross-check up high, and Bedard goes down, and the game ends, and Bedard is now going to head to the Blackhawk dressing room, and this might not be good for the Hawks. Connor Bedard is in some pain as he heads to the Hawk dressing room.
He's holding his shoulder.
Oh, boy.
You know, he was trying to shoot off that draw. It was a setup play where they were trying to fake. They were going to pull it back to Levshunov. Instead, Bedard tried to shoot it, and he took a cross-check. Looked like to the face, possibly the upper body, and that is not a good look. He was clutching his shoulder the whole time. And that was Shen, who's a pretty strong individual. Went straight forward, and I believe it's the right arm, the right shoulder of Connor Bedard, and boy, would that be a horrific situation for the Blackhawks to lose Connor Bedard with 0.8 seconds to go on a face-off. It might have been his stick might have got jammed. Maybe that's why he went down. Regardless, Blackhawks lose.
Well, the Blues win tonight 3-2. The bigger importance is the condition of Connor Bedard. Let's hope that he'll be okay. Blues win tonight 3-2. We'll tell you more about it right after we take this break. This is Blackhawks Hockey on 720 WG.
Internet 949. Pittsburgh Penguins face the Montreal Canadiens at 7 p.m. Pens on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 941. Canadiens on Internet 934. Toronto Maple Leafs face the San Jose Sharks at 7 p.m. Leafs on Sirius 208, XM 219 and Internet 946. Sharks on Internet 942. Washington Capitals take on the Carolina Hurricanes at 7 p.m. Caps on XM 223, Internet 950.